When I argued that we should freeze federal spending, I meant Social Security as well. And I not only tried it once, I tried it twice, I tried it a third time, and I tried it a fourth time.
Raising the cap, raising the retirement age for people who are now 30 years old, raising the tax on Social Security, cutting benefits. They're all things that have to be discussed, quite frankly.
The American people know we have to fix Social Security. They know we can't grow our way to a solution. They know we're going to have to make some tough decisions.
Would you consider looking at those programs, age of eligibility,
Absolutely.
cost of living, put it all on the table?
The answer is absolutely, you have to.
We are going to change the retirement age for Social Security.
We will always protect Social Security and Medicare for our great seniors. Biden can't do that. As president, I kept that promise, and I will keep it once again. I will not, under any circumstances, allow either of these two precious gems to be even touched under a Trump administration. You will always have your Social Security in full as you have it now, and you will always have your Medicare. Social Security will be strong and powerful. Medicare will be strong. You deserve it. I will always protect Medicare and Social Security for our great seniors.
I got my education for real in the black church.
I got raised in the black church.
I was sort of raised in the Puerto Rican community. I had a close relationship with the Greek community. I am Joe Bidenopoulos. You all think I'm kidding.
White House girls send Biden to bed early.
I don't know about you, but I'm going to go to bed.
Because he's really old and he's senile.
I taught at the University of Pennsylvania for 4 years.
He makes up so much crap, the country's worried.
Okay, you're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations.
He's lying like it's going out of style.
I had the great honor of being arrested on the streets of Soweto.
You can't hide Joe Biden's lies.
I am a hard coal miner.
For a while, they made Saki try.
I used to drive a tractor trailer.
Thought by now they'd realize.
And I used to teach the Second Amendment in law school.
There ain't no way to hide Joe Biden's lies.
You have my word. I give you my word. I give you my word. I guarantee you, give you my word as a Biden. I 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 give you my word as a Biden. It's just a bunch of lies.
There we go, right there. There we go. Now, if you're having a hard time sleeping, you might want to check this out because Donald Trump dropped a sleeping ad for Joe Biden. And this right here is crazy. Salute to everybody that's in here. Make sure you please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. I am so mad about yesterday. I wasn't able to stream. I seen a lot of people streaming the rally and stuff like that. But yet me, Benny, everybody else got threatened. If we did, they were going to strike our channel, take our channel down. But we ain't going through that no more. Next time they have one of those, we going live. We just going to take that chance because everybody was streaming, you know what I'm saying, like streaming a debate. And that right there is just wild. That is wild that we was did like that. I know Benny was talking about it this morning about what they did to us. So, but we ain't going to let that happen no more. We're going to go live next time because we definitely could have broke down all them lies Joe Biden was talking about. I mean, just line after line after line. But check out this sleeping ad.
If you're having trouble sleeping, ask your doctor about Bidenica, the sleep aid made from 100% Joe Biden press conference.
The best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway.
Bidenica has a patented blend of confusion and forgetfulness that will calm the most overactive brains.
COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, it's taken more than 100 years. Look, here's the lives. When you think about it.
When they sold out American jobs and killed the Keystone Pipeline, it kept me up all night worrying about how we'd pay our bills. But then I got Bidenica, and I've never slept better.
Sometimes when I get hopped up on sugar, my parents give me Bidenica so I pass out. Other times they give it to me during the day, probably so they can do the deed. Gross.
Warning, People who have used Bidenica have experienced rapid lying and an inability to secure the southern border. Others have hallucinated and fought breakfast cereals.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Ask your doctor if Bidenica is right for you.
Wow. Is Bidenica good for you? Who's going to take Bidenica? Salute to Mill. Salute to Swagger Boy in the building. Salute to both of y'all. Salute to the chat. We are waiting. Let me pop it up on screen, see how we got any action yet. So I think they still saying that, okay, Donald Trump is speaking in like 2 minutes. So as y'all can see, we still waiting for it to start. I just got it on mute right now. Let me take it off mute, see what they're talking about.
Each other. Everybody's just hearing each other as true Americans with a purpose. And one of the purposes of this campaign, of course, is to eliminate the high taxes that we're dealing with across the USA right now. We heard President Trump last night talk about the tax credits. He also talked about no tax on tip, which is amazing. But, you know, if you're struggling with those back taxes or the unified returns, one of the problems is that the IRS is escalating conditions and collections, adding 20,000 new agents, and they're sending over 5.
Look like they playing some music in the back. We don't want to get copyrighted. So as y'all can see, we still just waiting for everything to take place. Let me check on Donald Trump's channel. Let me see how he went. I don't think he went live yet either. Let me see. No, not yet. So right now we just still waiting. So yeah, we still waiting right now. Let me see if they start playing music.
Your assets.
Yeah, they still playing music. So right now we just waiting. While we waiting on them, guess we'll go ahead and play some of these. Let me go over here for a second. And let me see if I can find it.
Hello and welcome to the first 2024 presidential debate hosted by CNN. I am Jake Tapper, and somewhere around here is my colleague, Dana Bash. I'd like to set the ground rules to this debate. First off, Biden is allowed to speak whenever he wishes. We will have commercial breaks whenever Biden feels the urge so that his needs can be taken care of. This may or may not include naps, energy boosts, or a snack such as ice cream. On the other hand, Trump is not allowed to speak unless spoken to, and if he interrupts Joe speaking, we're automatically going to deduct 10 points from Trump and Dore. As the hall moderator of this debate, I can call it off at any moment and declare it a complete victory for Biden. Where did Trump go? He was just here.
Man, that was hilarious, bro. Let me see if, what they still doing right now. Like we still waiting for the president to come up. Like I said, make sure y'all hit that like button. You know, as y'all, as everybody is in here, make sure you hit that like button. Salute to everybody. Let me see.
It seems like an eternity, but the good news is that help is on its way. We are all hopeful, and I want everyone who's out there right now watching to open your mind to the potentials of the possibilities of unity. Unity is such an important characteristic of this agenda on this campaign, and seeing more of that unity is going to change the dynamic and the trajectory of our country as we move forward for next generations to come. People always say you don't want to leave the generation ahead worse than what they saw before. You want every generation to have better than the next and better than the last. And that is why we need to see some change. And right now that change will come in the potential election of Donald J. Trump as the 47th president. Right now he's playing Hello, Is It Me You're Looking For by Lionel Richie. And you know what? I think he is what we're looking for. You know.
So we still waiting on Trump. Salute to everybody that's in the chat. Salute to everybody that's in the chat. Let me pop it off screen for a second. Like I said, since we still waiting on the president, just in case y'all didn't see this sleeping ad Donald Trump dropped.
If you're having trouble sleeping, Ask your doctor about Bidenica, the sleep aid made from 100% Joe Biden press conference.
The best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway.
Bidenica has a patented blend of confusion and forgetfulness that will calm the most overactive brains.
COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, it's taken more than 100 years. Look, here's the lives. When you think about it.
When they sold out American jobs and killed the Keystone Pipeline, it kept me up all night worrying about how we'd pay our bills. But then I got Bidenica, and I've never slept better.
Sometimes when I get hopped up on sugar, my parents give me Bidenica so I pass out. Other times they give it to me during the day, probably so they can do the deed. Gross.
Warning, people who have used Bidenica have experienced rapid lying and an inability to secure the southern border. Others have hallucinated and fought breakfast cereals.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Ask your doctor if Bidenica is right for you.
So like I said, we still waiting. Like I said, I was still pretty upset from yesterday, man, not being able to stream the debate. I was ready. And I mean, I'm telling you, I'm sitting here watching. I'm like, CNN didn't strike anybody's channel. I mean, everybody went live. So like I said before, that right there is not going to happen again. You said, do anyone know the VP pick? No, not yet. I thought maybe he was going to do it. Well, no, I ain't going to say I thought he was going to do it last night, because he did say he's going to do it at the convention. Probably next month. He probably going to do it next month. We don't know yet, because, like I said, Trump like to change things around. He might do it before the convention. He might, you know what I'm saying? You never know. He could just bust out today and just, and put it on Truth Social. We don't know. But I am keeping up to date with everything to see when he's going to drop it. But who do y'all want his VP to be? Let me know in the comment section. Who do y'all want his VP to be? I've been saying Mark Robinson, been saying Byron Donalds, Vivek, JD Vance. So I mean, we don't know. We don't know who is gonna be. He said, that's a great skill by Adogg. Oh yeah, you said you couldn't find that skit. Yeah, Donald Trump be posting those ads. He posts them on his Truth Social, so that we'll get them from his Truth Social. He don't post them on YouTube, and then that's how Benny be getting all his ads and stuff, because you get them off his Truth Social. You said Vivek. I see a lot of people saying Marco Rubio, even though a lot of people don't like Marco Rubio. Let's see if the president is up yet. Hold on, y'all. Let's check. Let me see.
And truthfully, that's what it is. It's a love fest of American patriots who want their country to be beautiful. You can see the.
So not yet. He ain't came out yet. So we still gonna wait. I am watching it in the background, so I can definitely see when Donald Trump come to the stage. Make sure as y'all coming in, y'all please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Appreciate everybody being here. Said Robinson is the best candidate. Hey, I've been hearing it. Some people, you say, I would like Mark Robinson. He is so much like President Trump. I've been hearing a lot of people say that. Let me check over here. Let's see if President Trump went live yet. Let me see. I don't think he went live yet. No, not yet. So right now we still waiting. You said Ben Carson, Byron Donalds. I've been hearing Ben Carson a lot too. Let's see. We got in. Say he expected to speak soon. Let's see.
That is what we need to see. We need to see that. It's heartbreaking.
Okay, so we still waiting. That's why I say I'm paying attention to it. We paying attention. You said, let me see. So many good choices for BP, but Mr. Robinson, yeah, it's a lot of good choices, y'all. It's a lot of good choices. It's definitely a lot of good choices. That's what we can say. It's a lot of good choices of who Donald Trump's vice president can be. Like I said, I've been seeing Vivek, JD Vance, Marco Rubio, even though people don't like Marco Rubio, they keep saying he's a rhino. They don't like him. But his name in there, Doug Burgum. So we shall see. I just hope, me personally, I know it ain't going to be Tucker Carlson. Pretty much at this point, it might not be Tucker Carlson. But like I said, you know, J.D. Vance, Vivek, Byron Donalds, Mark Robinson, and one of those, I'm fine. And like I said, Dr. Ben Carson is another good one, too. I've been hearing a lot of y'all saying Wesley Hunt. I don't know. That could be a shocker if he was to pick Wesley Hunt. I know Wesley Hunt would take the job. Let's see. Have we gotten action? Because I don't want to miss anything. Okay, so we still waiting. Let me go over here. Let me see. So now we still look like we still waiting. Let's go over here for a second.
Get him out of here.
See, that's what you call when Jake Tapper was running with Joe Biden and then Donald Trump just come out of nowhere and just spear him.
Get him out of here.
Let's see, is the president up yet? Because we don't want to miss anything. Is that fake Tapper? I can say, though, they called it pretty clear last night, though, even though we don't like Jake Tapper and Dana Bash, but they did call it pretty clear. They wasn't being biased. According to what I've seen, they wasn't being biased last night, but we still don't like them. We still don't trust them. But they called it pretty fair, and then Donald Trump just straight demolished Joe Biden. Just straight demolished him. I mean, his own party is saying Joe Biden, he got to go. They talking about replacing him with either Gavin Newsom, Michelle Obama, even Kamala Harris talking about replacing him. Like, so at this point, it really don't matter who replaced Joe Biden. None of them is still going to beat Donald Trump. It don't matter who you replace him with. You're still not going to beat Donald Trump. That's just the way it is. I mean, Biden was just mumbling, bumbling, falling asleep. I mean, just all type of stuff last night. It was bad. I mean, that right there was bad. But we predicted it. We said it. We said that Donald Trump was going to go in there and do what Donald Trump does best, and that's out-talk Joe Biden and speak them facts. Joe Biden lied all night long, and we already knew he was going to come at Donald Trump. You're a convicted felon. You did this. You did that. We already knew he was coming with that. And soon as he said something about a convicted felon, Donald Trump spun it around on him and said, hey, your son Hunter is a convicted felon. Joe Biden couldn't say anything. Couldn't say nothing. So we still waiting on the president. Make sure y'all hit that like button if y'all haven't hit that like button yet. I'm trying to make sure I stay on top of it and see when Donald Trump is going to go live, because I see he ain't went live yet, but I got the other one pulled up. So let's see what they talking about. So I think right now they just still talking.
Social or Instagram and find me on Nick Stanz, Nikstanz. And you'll also want to go find my beautiful friend Vanessa.
Hello, everyone.
Vanessa.
Okay, so like we still waiting for the president. I know Trump got a lot to say, boy. I'm telling you, I already know he finna go off on Joe Biden. He's finna go off on Joe Biden. You said, let me see. Let's hope Biden doesn't get talked into removing himself as a candidate. At this point, like I said, it don't really matter who they try to remove. Like, nobody is going to beat Donald Trump. At this point, it really don't matter. It don't matter who they try to swap him out with. Who do they got that's going to beat Donald Trump? Who do they have? Because at this point, they talking about getting Michelle Obama, but Michelle Obama don't even want to do it. Then they talking about Gavin Newsom. He's struggling over there in California. He's struggling in California doing that job. So how he going to be a president? You said Trump would talk around 3:30. I hope not. They say he was going to talk, supposed to be starting off talking in a minute. So I'm trying to keep, make sure I keep it up and see. Jill refuses to let Biden quit. Yeah, that's what they said this morning. They said that Jill Biden is not going to allow not Donald Trump, but Jill Biden is not going to allow Joe Biden to quit. She ain't going to let him quit because the Dems, they trying to swap him out. They are trying to swap out Joe Biden, and Jill Biden says she ain't going for it. Anyone seriously think Biden would debate again? See, that's the thing. He's supposed to debate again in September, but the way he did tonight, it's going to be even worse in September. Donald Trump is going, I'm telling you, Donald Trump is going to demolish Joe Biden if they debate again, just like I predicted this time. He's going to get up there. He's going to start fumbling. He's going to start falling asleep like he always do. That's exactly what he's going to do. He's just going to fall asleep and just get destroyed. Salute to everybody in here. Pink. Salute to everybody. Like I say, as y'all coming in, please hit that like button. We are waiting on the president to show up. And y'all know when the president starts talking, my mic go on mute. So salute to everybody for that. Salute to Greg Williams for the $5. Thank you very much, brother. Thanks for the channel. Love the work. Here's for a cup of coffee on me. Also, the U.S. is now awake to what Biden is really like. That is straight facts. That right there is facts. That is facts. That's facts. Appreciate that, Greg, for the 5. Salute to everybody who always shows support to the channel. Thank you very much for that. Yes, sir. So we'll see if the president came up yet. Let's see. So nope, we're still waiting on him. Says still expected to speak soon. You said I felt sorry, but I am. You said I felt sorry, but I am behind Trump. Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, it just looked bad. You seen Stephen A. Smith. You seen a lot of them last night. Like, man, I was getting phone call. Look with Joy Reid. Look at all these people who be talking bad about Donald Trump. And now they got to admit to themselves that they had their own party calling them and texting them saying that, hey, it's done. We cannot win with Joe Biden. Which I should have been telling y'all self that y'all can't win with nobody. Whether it's Joe Biden, Michelle, or whoever y'all get, y'all ain't going to win. So it really don't even matter. Biden would get paid to drop out. I don't know. But he ain't gonna, Joe Biden be better off keeping his money because it don't matter who, if they pay him to drop out, it's like they still gonna lose. Who's gonna replace him? Hillary Clinton? She gonna jump in there and try again? Hillary Clinton gonna jump in there and try again? You said Donald Trump would talk around 3:30. I hope not, because they say he's supposed to start talking at around 2:00. He even had it set on his channel. He's supposed to be talking around 2. Let me see. President Trump just says they're still expected to start. Let me see.
But he will not be coming in on a motorcycle tonight. I don't think he's coming in on a motorcycle, but he will be coming in following the motorcycle.
Okay, so we are still waiting. We still waiting. So salute to everybody. Thank you, Michelle Klingler. I really, really appreciate that. The $20. Appreciate everybody who shows support to the channel. Thank you very much for that. Love your channel. Thank you. I appreciate that, Michelle. Thank you very much for being here, showing support, watching the videos, hitting that like button. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much, Michelle, for that. Thank you. What's that? DAREALADOGG just speaking the facts. Great channel, man. Thank you, doctors. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you, Michelle. I really, really appreciate that. We waiting on the best president that we ever had to show up. So right now, we just still waiting. We just talking and stuff right now. I do have it on the bottom of my screen over here. So as soon as I see President Trump walk up, we definitely going to switch over. Right now, we're just waiting to let everybody get up in here. And let me go up here for a second. Let's see.
F-A-N-I, Fani. How do you pronounce F-A-N-I, Fani?
United States. See that again? It's hard to catch the first time. Did you get it?
I would have just gave up, said forget that. All right. So it look like we still waiting. Okay, so we still waiting. They just playing. I think that's President Trump showing up right here. I think that's him right here. I paused it because they playing music. We ain't trying to get copyrighted, so we're gonna wait till President Trump show up. We don't want to get no copyrights. Let's see. You say you don't see Biden being around much longer? Yeah, man. He just looked bad on that stage. He was just bumbling all night. He was staring at Donald Trump awkwardly the whole night. It was just bad. And his own party seen it, bro. They couldn't take it. His own party was disgusted. So, like I said, boy, it seemed like President Trump is showing up right here. So we're gonna see. Haven't already. Dems don't have anyone. They show don't. Appreciate that, Mill. Thank you. If you haven't already, please give Adogg a thumbs up. Yeah, make sure y'all please hit that thumbs up. Please hit that thumbs up button. Really helps out a lot. Still disappointed because I didn't go live yesterday, due to the threats from CNN. I would have went live and we probably had about 5,000 or 6,000 people, probably even more than that watching, because I had a lot to say about that. So I don't know if I just want to go live and just do like another whole live stream of me covering that debate. We shall see. I might do a little vote thing to see if everybody will want me to do that. Thank you. Thank you, Faith Sykes. I appreciate that, Miss Faith, for the $10. Thank you very much for that. Thank you. Like I said before, I appreciate everybody that shows support to the channel, that always, super chats, cash out, whatever you do. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Miss Faith. Really appreciate that. Penny Chris, appreciate that. Great channel, $8. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Let's see. I think they still playing music. Let me see.
Think about how soon we are going to be approaching that.
Yeah, so they're still playing music. So we're still waiting on President Trump. We like your coverage. Thank you. Thank you, Don J. Appreciate that. Let's see. Let's get over. Let's see. Have anything changed? Right now, we just still waiting. Yeah, we are still waiting right now on President Trump. So we just still hanging out and just talking, watching from Scotland. Appreciate that. Appreciate everybody who be watching from around the world. First Hawk, appreciate that. Thank you, CB2003 for the $5. Look at all the MAGA supporters. It will only get better now. Trump 2024, love your channel. Appreciate that, CB. Thank you for your support. We definitely got to, keep praying for President Donald Trump. We got to get him back in that White House if we want to fix what Joe Biden has destroyed. We got to. Shout out from Spring Hill, Florida. Love your channel, brother. Appreciate that, JMT. Appreciate that. Is it Tennessee watching on Waiting Trump? Hey, we waiting on him. Like I said, appreciate all the super chats that came through, all the support for the channel. Thank y'all very much for that. I really appreciate it. And like I said, we just waiting on President Trump to arrive. Because I don't even think President Trump even went live on his channel yet, so we still waiting on him. I don't know how many times I had to keep saying it, but I am still disappointed about yesterday. By not going live last night. I feel like I was tricked. I really feel like I was tricked. And it don't sit well with me. But hey, it is what it is. Appreciate that, Luis. Gifted 5 memberships. So if you got a membership, make sure you thank Luis. Hopefully I'm saying the name right. Luis Smith gifted 5 the Real Adogg membership. So if you got a membership, make sure you thank Luis Smith for that. Appreciate that. Appreciate the gifted memberships. Like I said, if you got gifted, make sure you thank Luis Smith for that. Gave people 5 memberships. Appreciate that. Wicked Truth with the $10. Appreciate that. Love your Adogg Trump 2024. I appreciate that. Salute to everybody showing support. And then come right back behind him with a $10 himself, Jackie Guzman. Thank you, Jackie Guzman. I really appreciate that. Watch it from Iowa. Love all your Trump support. Hey, we're going to keep it going. I appreciate everybody showing support right now. Hitting that subscribe button, that like button, and super chatting. Gotta drop a bomb for that. Got to. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Salute to everybody showing support. Thank you very much. Salute to you too, Miss Elizabeth Walker. Adogg. You said Benny. You said Benny didn't from PA. You said Benny didn't stream. Yeah, Benny didn't either. But I was watching his video this morning. He was upset too because he said the same thing I said. You know, he was like everybody else. Tim Pool, everybody went live. We didn't go live because we got threatened. We literally could have had probably 10, 15,000 people watching last night. Stream was already booted up. We was ready, but then we got threatened. But yet everybody else went live and nothing happened. That's the reason why I say if they have another debate, I am going live. I don't care what CNN say or nothing. I am streaming. They ain't gonna get me twice. I can guarantee you that. They're not gonna get me twice. Right now, we're still waiting on President Trump. Appreciate that, John Celia. $5. You're the best, Adogg. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for the $5. I really, really appreciate it. Salute to everybody with the super chats. Appreciate that. Appreciate the 5. Thank you very much. Appreciate all the support. Let's see what they're talking about over here.
I think he was perfect with how it all was handled. But at the end of the day, we know that the Biden camp is saying that Joe Biden is planning on staying in the 2024 presidential race, at least until September 10th, which is the next debate. That's on ABC. That's 72 days from now. So obviously a lot can happen from now until then in the sense of decision making. There are people on either side saying that he's going to get replaced. And then there's some people saying, no, he's sticking through. So we're going to see what happens there. Before we get to some more commentary and before we send it back out there live to Chesapeake, Virginia, once again, it is Rally Day here on Friday. Happy Friday to those of you watching in Virginia and anywhere in the country and in some places around the world. Tax Network USA, we got to thank our sponsor and our friends there, Tax Network USA. If you've got any filing issues or you missed the April 15th deadline.
Wow, so he's saying the next debate is September the 10th. So we definitely going to go live for that. I don't care about none of the threats. You ain't going to get me twice. I can guarantee you that you ain't going to get me twice. We definitely going live September 10th for the debate. I'm not going for them fake threats no more. If everybody else was allowed to stream it, nothing happened. And me and Benny and a lot of us got threatened with, taking our channel down, putting strikes on it, and nothing happened. No, we ain't going for that no more. Forget that. Let me see.
It's now 3:26 Eastern, so a full day of coverage for you. As you've seen, President Trump pulled up there behind the stage in his security detail and campaign staff. And then, of course, Vanessa Broussard and Nikki Stanzione holding down the fort there live in Virginia. with some awesome points that they're bringing up, and also interviewing some great patriots in that area. So Virginia right now, 13 electoral votes is what that state has up for grabs come November 5th, some 130 days from today. So how will President Trump come out? What would he say today on the heels of this debate? Will he have, will he go bashing Biden, or will he stick to Agenda 47 and still be comical at times? He has awesome, great, serious points that he makes on a constant basis. So obviously, thank you so much for joining us here at Right Side Broadcasting Network. It is 27 after the hour. I know a lot of you thought he would be speaking at 3. Well, obviously him flying all across the country and all of the different people to meet, and a lot of surrogates there in Virginia. You heard from some of them earlier today on the pre-program at 1:30. Governor Glenn Youngkin was one of them. Hung Cao was another one who's running for U.S. Senate, and another.
My fault, I had it on mute. You said, I don't think they allow even ABC or NBC to stream. That's the thing, though. I know they allow Fox News. I think, what's the other channel? I don't know if it's called C-SPAC or something like that. I can't remember. But they allow other people to stream. But that's the thing, though. Everybody streamed. That's the thing. A lot of YouTube channels, there's a lot of people streamed. And I thought when nobody going to go live, like I said, Benny didn't go live because we was all, nervous. We didn't want to get strikes on our channel, but yet they let everybody else go live and nothing happened. So like I said, I don't care if they say it's going to be on ABC. If ABC come out with some empty threats about they don't want nobody to lie, I don't care about none of that. I'm going live. They're not going to get me. Do you think Trump might announce Virginia governor as his VP? Hey, I don't know. It ain't no telling. It will be a shocker. He could announce it, during this rally. We don't know. Ain't no telling at all. So we still waiting on the president, as y'all can see. He still ain't showed up yet. It might be around, well, it's 2:29 where I'm at, so it might be about 3 o'clock when Donald Trump get on stage. But yeah, appreciate all the support everybody been giving with the super chats, being here, hitting the like button, sticking around, just waiting until the president come up. You said next time go live and private the video after. But didn't nobody else private theirs? Everybody else video still up. Look at this right here. Democrats love high food, gas, rent, crime, and war. God. Oh, man. So, like I said, right now we still waiting on the president. You said I watched on Rumble, but Rumble went down for like 20 minutes. Yeah, I heard a lot of people saying Rumble went down, but like I said, Tim Pool was able to he live streamed the whole entire thing. Nothing happened. And like I said, along with the other channels. So me and Benny said the same thing, and we sure said it. We're gonna fight it next time. You ain't gonna get us twice. So I can't wait for September to get here. Appreciate the $5 CB 2003. I appreciate that. Showing more love to the channel. Have a good weekend, everybody. Appreciate you. Thank you, CB, for showing support. Thank you. Mia said maybe that's the agenda. They wanted Biden to fail so they can replace him and blame it on the debate. Yeah, that's what they wanted to do. But at the same time, it ain't going to do them no good, because no matter who you switch them out with, it really don't matter. They still going to lose. So it really don't. They might well just leave Biden in there. But a lot of people, even J.D. Vance said, hey, it's too late to try to swap Biden out. Who you going to swap him with? Gavin Newsom? He over there destroying California. What can he do to be a president? He can't even take care of what's going on in California. Yeah, that's what I was saying. A lot of other streamers, went live and stuff like that. I guess they were like, forget it. We ain't scared of them. So CNN, they just threw some empty threats at us. That's exactly what it was, but it's not going to happen again. Mississippi loves Trump. Oh, yeah. We got to do what we got to do to get Donald Trump back in the White House. If we want to save this country, we got to. Everybody has to go out and vote when it's time to vote. You got to get up and go. So, that's just how that go. So right now, let me see what they talking about now.
Well, we're actually on a farm, so the man on the farm is here.
Okay, so everybody is still waiting on the president. Like, y'all might be right. It might end up being probably about 3 or 3:30 before he come out. He's supposed to come out where he's supposed to came out at 2:00, but they said, he might be a little late. So we all still waiting. Let's see. Appreciate that, Tanya. Love your channel and what you stand for. You should be allowed to go live just like it. Yeah, I was ready to. I had already had my live stream made like a month ahead of time, waiting on it. Then they get to 2 days and they get to saying, if anybody go live, we're gonna strike your channel. We already didn't talk to YouTube, so that's the reason why me, Ben, and a lot of us didn't go live. And then you get to watching it, and then you see Tim Pool, you seen a whole lot of more other YouTubers streaming it, and nothing happened. They streamed the whole thing, and and it's still up on their channel. So hey, that's what they do. And nothing happened. So hey, but I won't fall for that twice. I can guarantee you that. You say if they pick Gretchen, then Trump's VP would be Elise or Sanders. Like I said, I actually like Elise Stefanik. I believe she'll be a good vice president. And Sarah Huckabee Sanders. So I mean, you gotta look at it. He got a lot of great people like he can pick from. There's a lot of them, and it's very hard. When you got Vivek, Mark Robinson, Byron Donalds, Elise Stefanik, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. It's a lot of good people, and it's gonna be very tough. But we shall see exactly who he's going to pick. So we just wait. So I think right now we just still waiting. Let me see have anything else popped up over here. Let me check. No, yes, I see everybody's still waiting. Because I don't even see Donald Trump. He haven't went live yet. Because he had his timer set at 2:00. But he haven't even went live yet. So we right now we just still waiting. Right now while we waiting, I guess I play this right here. Let me go back up. Just in case if you got in here late, if you're having a hard time sleeping, this is what Donald Trump made for Joe Biden.
If you're having trouble sleeping, ask your doctor about Bidenica, the sleep aid made from 100% Joe Biden press conference.
The best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway.
Bidenica has a patented blend of confusion and forgetfulness that will calm the most overactive brains.
COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, it's taken more than 100 years. Look, here's the lives. I mean, think about it.
When they sold out American jobs and killed the Keystone Pipeline, it kept me up all night worrying about how we pay our bills. But then I got Bidenica, and I've never slept better.
Sometimes when I get hopped up on sugar, my parents give me Bidenica so I pass out. Other times they give it to me during the day, probably so they can do the deed. Gross.
Warning. People who have used Bidenica have experienced rapid lying and an inability to secure the southern border. Others have hallucinated and fought breakfast cereals.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Ask your doctor if Bidenica is right for you.
Is Bidenica? Have anybody tried Bidenica? Let me know in the chat. Have anybody tried Bidenica? One thing I can say, Donald Trump makes some of the best ads, bro. Like I'm telling you, his ads be just fire, be on point. So we're still waiting on President Trump. Salute. We got 400 people in here right now. And like I said, as you're coming in, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to news with everything that's going on. Let me go over here. I think Donald Trump had another one too. See, Donald Trump made this his difference about him and Joe Biden on Social Security.
When I argued that we should freeze federal spending, I meant Social Security as well. And I not only tried it once, I tried it twice, I tried it a third time, and I tried it a fourth time.
Raising the cap, raising the retirement age for people who are now 30 years old, raising the tax on Social Security, cutting benefits. They're all things that have to be discussed, quite frankly.
The American people know we have to fix Social Security. They know we can't grow our way to a solution. They know we're going to have to make some tough decisions.
Would you consider looking at those programs? Age of eligibility,
Absolutely.
cost of living, put it all on the table?
The answer is absolutely you have to.
We are going to change the retirement age for Social Security.
We will always protect Social Security and Medicare for our great seniors. Biden can't do that. As president, I kept that promise, and I will keep it once again. I will not, under any circumstances, allow either of these two precious gems to be even touched under a Trump administration. You will always have your Social Security in full as you have it now, and you will always have your Medicare. Social Security will be strong and powerful. Medicare will be strong. You deserve it. I will always protect Medicare and Social Security for our great seniors.
You can just tell, man, you can just trust Donald Trump way more than you can trust Joe Biden. It's like everything come out Joe Biden's mouth is just a lie. I see everybody saying they love Bidenica. Like everything come out that man's mouth is just a straight lie, man. All the time. You see everybody getting hyped. We still waiting on President Trump to come out. We just hanging out, talking, having a good time right now. Okay, I see Chelsea Smith say, hey, Adogg, even though the debate was last night, you can still go do a live stream over the entire debate last night as they aren't going to strike your channel. That's up at your... Yeah, I might do that. I'm going to see because I don't know how many people will watch, but I'm going to make a poll on my community tab to see if everybody want me to go live and just go over the debate. And so we get enough people that want to see it. I definitely do that probably tomorrow. More likely tomorrow, or I could do it later on tonight. So I might end up doing it later on tonight, but we'll make a poll after this live stream go off and we'll see what everybody have to say. So everybody in the chat right now, would y'all want me to do a live stream and go over the debate from last night? Let me know in the comments section. And like I said, I will make a poll too to see if anybody want to see it. Because there was a lot of stuff that Joe Biden was just lying about. Let's see. Let me see what they got going on now.
At this point, it's almost nearly impossible
Bro, look how
for them
many
to
people
switch
is
out
there.
a candidate. So we'll see. You know, they always have something.
Look how many people is there. It is so many people there, bro. Look at that. Joe Biden can never draw a crowd like that. He can never draw a crowd like that. Never. It is slam packed out there. You say yes, do live chat debate. Yeah, I mean, if everybody want me to do it, I'll definitely do it. But it is jam packed out there, bro. Like, look at all them people that come to support Donald Trump. No matter where he go, whether it's a blue state, it don't matter. They gonna show up for Donald Trump, and that's just what it is. Said Biden has fake audience. I bet he do. I guarantee you he do. Nobody believe him. He lies too much. Yep, you said, like you said, Tracy, every time Joe opened his mouth, it was what, stutter or mumbling or a lie. That's exactly what it was. It was all three of them, if you ask me. Stutter, mumble, and a lie. That's exactly what it was. So we still You said yes, go over the last debate. I will though. Like I said, we'll make a poll and we'll see what everybody says. If they want me to, we'll definitely probably do that later on tonight or either tomorrow, early tomorrow. But we'll see. Let me see if anything changed. Nope, not yet. Nope. So we just still waiting right now. Appreciate everybody that's up in here. Joe Biden can't get 100. No, he can't get 100 people. He can't. If Joe Biden can even get 50 people, I'm gonna tell y'all this. If Joe Biden can at least get 50 people, I can guarantee you 47 of them gonna be the cameraman. But he's cooked. He's done. And everybody's just sitting, waiting on President Trump to come on out. Like I said, he might end up be coming on out at about 3 o'clock where I'm at. So it's 2:43. So I know that this speech here is going to be monumental. So I know we all ready to hear this and see exactly what he got to say. While we're waiting on that, we'll let's see, what else did Donald Trump drop? Let me see.
I got my education for real in the black church. I got raised in the black church. I was sort of raised in the Puerto Rican community. I had a close relationship with the Greek community. I am Joe Bidenopoulos. You all think I'm kidding.
White House girls send Biden to bed early.
I don't know about you, but I'm going to go to bed.
Because he's really old and he's senile.
I taught at the University of Pennsylvania for 4 years.
He makes up so much crap, the country's worried.
Okay, you're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations.
He's lying like it's going out of style.
I had the great honor of being arrested on the streets of Soweto.
You can't hide Joe Biden's lies.
I am a hard coal miner.
For a while, they made Saki try.
I used to drive a tractor trailer.
I thought by now they'd realize.
And I used to teach the Second Amendment in law school.
There ain't no way to hide Joe Biden's lies.
You have my word. I give you my word. I give you my word.
I guarantee you, give you my word as a Biden. I give you my word as a Biden.
I give you my word as a Biden. I give you my word as a Biden. I give you my word as a Biden. I give you my word as a Biden. It's just a bunch of lies.
I'm telling you, he don't do anything but just lie. Don't do anything but lie. You said nearly, look. Corium said, I nearly spilled my drink. Oh, man. So we're still waiting on President Trump. Let me go back and check.
Every age group.
Yeah, bro, everybody got chairs. They are waiting. And the thing is, it don't matter how long it take President Trump. People always has patience and is, willing to wait on Donald Trump. No matter how long it take him. They are willing to wait. You said, let me look at this. Give my word. I said, yo, Biden, your words are poop. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. He said, he said that ad crazy. I know a lot of people like that ad. See, the thing is, if Dana Bash and Jake Tapper was going to, be biased and don't like Donald Trump and was trying to, make it one-sided, Donald Trump, specifically planned to do this if Jake Tapper and Dana Bash was going to try to side with, Biden.
Hello and welcome to the first 2024 presidential debate hosted by CNN. I am Jake Tapper, and somewhere around here is my colleague, Dana Bash. I'd like to set the ground rules to this debate. First off, Biden is allowed to speak whenever he wishes. We will have commercial breaks whenever Biden feels the urge so that his needs can be taken care of. This may or may not include naps, energy boosts, or a snack such as ice cream. On the other hand, Trump is not allowed to speak unless spoken to, And if he interrupts Joe speaking, we're automatically going to deduct 10 points from Trump and Dore. As the hall moderator of this debate, I can call it off at any moment and declare it a complete victory for Biden. Where did Trump go? He was just here.
Man, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. Let's see.
And we're always surrounded by the police, by the Secret Service, and President Trump often.
I can't wait to hear this, man, because I know this right here is gonna be monumental by Donald Trump. So I cannot wait. He said, "There went my beer." My bad, Trace. I ain't want you to spill your beer. My fault for that. That's my fault. As y'all coming in, like I said, please hit that like button for me. Please hit that like button so we can get more people up in here. So we still waiting on President Trump to show up. You said Nurse Jill was there. Yeah. Yeah, even Nurse Jill was there. He said, "Oh my God, right? What did the View say this morning?" Man, you already know. I ain't even heard what the I don't even know what the View said. I don't even pay attention to them. I know when Doug go over their video a lot of time, I check it out, man. But they just, especially Whoopi, they just all one-sided. They ain't got nothing but bad things to say about Donald Trump. It always be like that with them, man. They just got hate in their blood for no reason. They just find a way to just hate Donald Trump. They always do that. They find a way to just hate Donald Trump for no reason. And it is just sickening, just listening to them. So the only time I normally do listen to him is when Doug, like if he go over their video and I react to it. But other than that, I do not pay attention to the View because they're all one-sided. They only got mean things to say about Donald Trump all the time. They never say anything bad about Joe Biden, knowing that he's destroying this country, and they don't say anything about it. They say Whoopi has no man, just cats at home. Yeah, so it's just crazy. Man. So that right there is just crazy. So I'm like, golly. Let me see what we got going on over here.
Law enforcement here in Virginia, as we do in every city in America.
All right, look like we got 10 more minutes. Hopefully we got 10 more minutes and Donald Trump will be out. So we just still waiting. You said more memes? You said more memes? Okay. Let me see if I got another one over. Matter of fact, let's look at this deep state video because we see everybody that all they do is just hate on Donald Trump for no reason, man, and we are just sick of it.
This is the final battle. With you at my side, we will demolish the deep state. We will expel the warmongers from our government. We will drive out the globalists. We will cast out the communists, Marxists, and fascists. We will throw off the sick political class that hates our country. We will rout the fake news media, and we will liberate America from these villains once.
Hello and welcome to the first 2024 presidential debate hosted by CNN. I am Jake Tapper, and somewhere around here is my colleague, Dana Bash. I'd like to set the ground rules to this debate. First off, Biden is allowed to speak whenever he wishes. We will have commercial breaks whenever Biden feels the urge so that his needs can be taken care of. This may or may not include naps, energy boosts, or a snack such as ice cream. On the other hand, Trump is not allowed to speak unless spoken to, and if he interrupts Joe speaking, we're automatically going to deduct 10 points from Trump and Dore. As the hall moderator of this debate, I can call it off at any moment and declare it a complete victory for Biden. Where did Trump go? He was just here.
The hostile takeover. Donald Trump.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Every time I listen to that, every time I see that, that is just hilarious. Wow. Said Las Vegas loves Trump. Oh, yes. I'm telling you, man, everybody see right through it, man. You know, Biden is just destroying everything. And Trump made a lot of, like a lot of excellent points last night. We can all agree he made a lot of excellent points. We already knew that Joe Biden was going to come with that convicted felon crap. We already knew it. When he's the cause of it, you got these corrupt judges on your payroll, allegedly. You got Fannie Willis, Letitia. You got all these people going after Donald Trump, and yet you want to call him that. So it's just wild, man. But Donald Trump debunked it, though, and he was not playing around. So we're still waiting. Let me check my other source and see if anything then changed. I still don't see anything over here, so we guess we are still just waiting. Okay, so right now we just still waiting to see exactly what else is going to happen. Let's see. Hi from Ohio. How you doing, Heidi? Hi from Ohio. Glad to be with you. Salute to you, Heidi. Salute to my mods in here. Salute to Mia. You said Marshawn needs jail. Man, Marshawn should have been got jail time. That man he just one-sided, and he admitted he donated to Joe Biden's campaign. I don't care if it was $30. You still donated. That means you showing support to him, and you don't like Donald Trump. You made that known. So it's just crazy. Well, we're going to see what he's going to try to sentence Donald Trump to. You're going to put him on house arrest. You're going to try to throw him in jail. You throw him in jail, you might well go ahead and make Donald Trump president. You can't throw him in jail. You throw him in jail, you sure enough going to lose. So, I mean, what you going to do? So you ain't going to be able to do that. Let's see. Let me see if I got another one right here. Oh yeah, this is another one that y'all like, the Bidenica. So like I said, we just playing memes and talking and stuff. We waiting on President Trump to show up. So right now we just having a good time.
If you're having trouble sleeping, ask your doctor about Bidenica, the sleep aid made from 100% Joe Biden press conference.
The best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway.
Bidenica has a patented blend of confusion and forgetfulness that will calm the most overactive brains.
COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, it's taken more than 100 years. Look, here's the lives. When you think about it.
When they sold out American jobs and killed the Keystone Pipeline, it kept me up all night worrying about how we pay our bills. But then I got Bidenica, and I've never slept better.
Sometimes when I get hopped up on sugar, my parents give me Bidenica so I pass out. Other times they give it to me during the day, probably so they can do the deed. Gross.
Warning. People who have used Bidenica have experienced rampant lying and an inability to secure the southern border. Others have hallucinated and fought breakfast cereals.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Ask your doctor if Bidenica is right for you.
Wow. You know the crazy thing about that? A lot of people say, stop playing $8. You're going to make me fall asleep. Donald Trump said he made that just for Joe Biden. Bidenica. So if you having trouble sleeping, man, make sure you get you some Bidenica now. That's only if you're having trouble. Only if you're having trouble. That's hilarious. We're still waiting on the president. We're still monitoring everything and seeing exactly when he's going to come off. He said, Don J said, I took my Bidenica. Oh, here you go. The president is here. I think they playing music, though. Let me see. Yeah, they playing music, but Donald Trump is here, y'all. We're going to play it as soon as the music stops. We don't want to get copyrighted. As soon as he get ready to start speaking, we definitely finna tune in. It ain't going to be no more pausing until after the speech. Y'all know me. I do not pause during the speech. We don't do that over here. We show the president respect over here. All right, let's see if it's still playing. Okay, it's still playing. The president is here. Right now, he just congratulating. Hey, man, look at the support he got, bro. Look at the support. Just look at that. Let's go, man. Love the intro. Love the intro. And you see what he's doing, how he just going to people, letting them know, hey, I appreciate you being here. That's what Donald Trump does. Joe Biden don't do anything like this. He had Jill Biden to tell the crowd, good job, Joe. You answered all their questions, Joe. He the president, don't he supposed to answer all their questions? They're like, come on. I probably could debate the CC. I probably could, but I have to check and see. But yeah, the copyrights be crazy around here. Yeah, we definitely finna switch to as soon as he go ahead and start talking. But I love this intro right here. Okay, I think we're here. Here we go.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, Virginia. Did anybody last night watch a thing called The Debate? That was a big one. But as you saw on television last night, we had a big victory against a man that really is looking to destroy our country. He's the worst. He's the most corrupt, the most incompetent president in the history of our country. And we have to take it back from that party. That's an evil party, despite the fact that crooked Joe Biden spent the entire week at Camp David, resting, working, studying. He studied very hard. He studied so hard that he didn't know what the hell he was doing. He got the debate rules that he wanted. He got the date that he wanted. He got the network that he wanted with the moderates he wanted. No amount of rest or rigging could help him defend his atrocious record. It's not defensible. I don't care who you were. You could be the late, great Clarence Darrow. Has anyone ever heard of Clarence Darrow? He was known as quite a good debater. Not as good as your governor, but that's okay. Hello, Governor. I can't miss this guy in the crowd. But his son's much better looking than him. Joe Biden's problem is not his age. It's not his anything, really. He's got no problem other than it's his competence. He's grossly incompetent. You know, they keep saying old. I know people that are much older than him that are doing unbelievable things, making a fortune. I knew a man that at 79, he was never a success, and he made $1 billion, $1.5 billion from 79 to 92. And that's what it is. It's not his age, it's his competence. He's not respected anywhere in the world. Our country is being laughed at all over the world. Biden is using the weaponization of his Justice Department, the FBI, local district attorneys and attorneys general to try and win an election against his political opponent. That happens to be me. Do you know who I am? Something that actually was unthinkable in our nation, but which is very common in third world countries or in banana republics. That's what he's doing. He's using law enforcement to try and hurt his political opponent. Every one of those things last night, you saw that, was all started by this guy, this crooked guy. And not only crooked, I mean, just so bad in so many ways. He's killing our country. He's incapable of winning based on his far-left policies of open borders, massive tax increases, the Green New Scam. That's a windmill on every corner, most of which don't work. And things like putting men in women's sports, really not a great idea. As every American saw firsthand last night, this election is a choice between strength and weakness, competence and incompetence, peace and prosperity, or war or no war. They like a war. They love wars. You know, they love killing people. It's so wonderful. You know, I'm the only president in many, many decades that didn't start a war. I finished one. I beat ISIS in record time. As soon as I left, we had the situation where Russia went into Ukraine. They would have never done that. And where Israel's attacked. And then we had inflation. And then we had that horrible, horrible event that took place in Afghanistan. The worst, I think the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. And it's a choice, though, between a president who puts America first or a train wreck who puts America last. They put America last. Actually, the Democrats put America last. You take a look at that. Look at a guy like Senator Schumer. I've always known him. I've known him a long time. I come from New York. I knew Schumer. He's become a Palestinian. He's a Palestinian now. Congratulations. He was very loyal to Israel and to Jewish people. He's Jewish, but he's become a Palestinian because they have a couple of more votes or something. Nobody's quite figured it out. A vote for Joe Biden is a vote for failure, surrender, and disaster for our country. A vote for your all-time favorite president, President Donald J. Trump. Is a vote for stopping Joe Biden's inflation, stopping the border invasion, and very simply making America great again. It will make America great again. You see these beautiful women. I'm not allowed to use the term beautiful as a politician. In fact, it could be the end of my career. If Glenn ever ran against me, he'd say he called women beautiful, and that could be the end of my career. But they're beautiful. What am I going to do? I can't lie. But you see these beautiful women up here? They come from a place called North Carolina. We all love North Carolina. And this is their 127th rally. And it's hard to believe. I seldom see their husbands, but they're happily married. I said, are you all happily married? They love their husbands. You love your husbands? They put up with a lot, huh? No, they're very happily married women, but it's 127. But I'll tell you, front row Joes even have that. They're about 200 and something, right? They must have made a lot of money somewhere along the line. Do my people treat you good? Huh? They better treat you good. Front row Joes, they become very famous. The question every voter should be asking themselves today is not whether Joe Biden can survive a 90-minute debate performance, but whether America can survive 4 more years of crooked Joe Biden in the White House. In fact, I don't know if we can really survive 5 more months. This is the most dangerous time in the history of our country, in my opinion, and we have a transition period because hopefully there has to be a transition. We've never been so close to World War III before, and if it happens, it will be a war like no other. This because of the threat of certain types of weapons. We don't even want to mention the word, but because of the type of weapons that you're talking about today, and I know them better than anybody. You know, I built our military. I totally rebuilt our military. I know more about weapons than just about anybody. And when you look at the incredible destructive power of these weapons, this will be a war like no other. This will not be 2 army tanks running against each other and shooting. This is going to be something the likes of which we've never seen. And we have a man who's grossly incompetent heading up our nation. And he's competing against Putin and President Xi of China and Kim Jong-un of North Korea. He's competing against people that are at the top of their game. And he was never really at the top of his game. He was never very good. But now he's really not good. Last night was a defeat not only for Biden, but for the entire radical left Democrat Party and the fake news media who have been lying to the American people as our country was being destroyed. The fake news media, look at all of them back there. Look at all of them. That's a lot of cameras. That's a lot of cameras. That's a lot of camera power. The Joe Biden on stage yesterday was the same Joe Biden who gave us open borders, crushing inflation, rampant crime, 2 new wars, a disastrous Afghanistan embarrassment, most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, and the international humiliation. Think of it, one after another, international humiliation, one after another. Nobody respects him. Foreign leaders don't respect him. You know, we put up $124 billion more given to Ukraine than Europe. Now, Europe is a lot closer. We have a thing called an ocean in between us, right? So no matter how you cut it, it's got to be more important. Why is it that we're not equalized? Why is it that they put up $124 billion, our people, these people in Washington that don't know what the hell they're doing? You know, I stopped it with NATO. We were spending almost 100% of the money for NATO. And I went in my first meeting, I realized, I said, you know, they're not paying their bills. They're delinquent. My second meeting, I said, you got to pay. And they said, well, what would happen if we don't? Then we won't defend you against Russia. And the next day, money came in by the billions. You never saw money come in so fast, Len. The money was pouring in. And I took a lot of heat, Michael. Oh, there's Mike Waltz. He knows better than anybody on this subject. He's the all-time. He's the all-time. But am I right? The money came in like at a level that was never seen. Hundreds of billions of dollars poured in. And then I took heat from the press because they said, no, I will not defend you if you're not current. And they said, well, that's not very nice. I said, it's not nice. Now, if I said I will, they wouldn't have paid, right? I suspect. But I took a lot of heat. But the fact is, the Secretary General called it the greatest. He's never seen anything like it, because Bush would come in, make a speech and leave. Obama would come in, make a speech and leave. And then I came in and I didn't make a speech. I just said, these guys aren't paying their bills. They're not paying their bills. I don't want to make a speech until they pay their bills. But they asked me, will you defend us if we don't pay? I said, no, I will not defend you. We're not stupid anymore. And $400 billion came pouring in. You never saw money pouring in so fast. The whole world should know that while Biden is the worst president in the history of America, our country is going to be strong again, and it's going to be very soon. I want the enemies to know that, because we have a 5-month transition period, and I want the enemies to know, don't play around with us during this 5-month period. Don't play around. It's only for them. It's also from, in all fairness, we have enemies on the outside, China, Russia, North Korea, enemies, but they're not really enemies if you have a smart president. If you have a smart president, they're not enemies. You'll make them do great. We had no problems. China paid us hundreds of billions of dollars, and it was so because they respected our country. Thank you very much. He said, they respected you. Thank you. Stand up, please. Who said that? Stand up. Because they respected us. You said it better than I could. Thank you. I plagiarized. Thank you. No, they respected us. There was no games. But we have the enemy on the outside, and you can do great things with them. And then we have a worse enemy. I call it the enemy from within. These are the sick people, the socialists. Remember I said, America will never be a socialist country. I was right. I was right. It skipped over socialism, went directly into fascism and communism. It never stopped at the station called socialism. It went worse. And that's a big problem that we have. But I think you're starting to see the end of that. And it's been starting for a while now with us. But I think last night was a big moment for people with common sense that want to see America be great again, want to put America first. Many people are saying that after last night's performance that Joe Biden is leaving the race. But the fact is, I don't really believe that, because he does better in polls than any of the Democrats they're talking about. You've seen that, Glenn. These polls come out with some of the names they're being, like Gavin Newsom. He can't run California. He's one of the worst governors. No, he's a bad governor. He can't run California. People are leaving one of the most beautiful places on earth in terms of weather, in terms of everything else. You can't do any better than California. He's doing a terrible job. But he gets up and he says, oh, California's doing great, like a machine gun, but it's doing bad. People are leaving so fast, and he'd be easy. But he's got lousy poll numbers, and you take a look at some of the others. Then, of course, Kamala is somebody that will be on the scope. It might have been Joe Biden's single best decision, putting her as vice president. Might have been his best, because nobody wants that. I do. I'd be very happy with it. But they don't poll as well as this guy. I mean, I don't want to speak against myself, but maybe, and they polled everybody. They polled Michelle Obama. She polls very badly. No, she polls terribly. Michelle Obama, people, you know, they polled many people, and it's hard to believe, but crooked Joe Biden polls better than those people. So I don't know what's going to happen. I have absolutely no idea. I just know that we're going to make America great again. That's a good-looking group back there. Better looking than front row Joes. You know what happens? You think they don't have a good seat. They actually have the best seat, because oftentimes the cameras are on them. The cameras aren't on you. And I'm making a speech, and they have all this stuff. It's all over the world, and a lot of them get picked. Would you like to come to Hollywood? You'd be amazed how many people. They see some of these beautiful faces, and they say, let's move them to Hollywood. They have the best seat. They don't know it, but they do. Okay, I don't want to point to too many of them. Get myself in trouble. But remember, the biggest problem for our country is not Joe Biden's personal decline. It's that Joe Biden's policies are causing America's decline at a level that we've never seen before. That's why this November, the people of Virginia and the people of America are going to tell crooked Joe Biden, Biden, you're fired. Get out of here. You're fired. Get out. We don't want you. You've been the worst president in the history of our country. We don't want you. Get the hell out of here. But we don't just need to fire Biden. As you saw yesterday, the whole Democrat Party deserves to be voted out of office. You have some great people. You have some great people in this state. And the reason I'm honored to be with you, Governor, who's here, just made a really fantastic speech. I saw it coming in. I'm flying in on my plane. I'm watching him speak. I said, what a beautiful crowd that is. But he just made a great speech, because what he says turns out to be right. He's got common sense. He's got great policy. He's got the policy that made America great. Now America is in decline because they have people that are going against those basic policies. But he's got the policies that made America great. And I'll call him up. I just said to him, do you want to come up? I know you just spoke for 45 minutes. Will you want to come up? And I said, come on up. You know, so he's going to come up in a couple of seconds. And as far as I'm concerned, he can say it all again. He can say it all again. But we're proud of him. He's done a great job. Time and again, Joe Biden revealed how extreme and divisive the radical left Democrats have become. Before your very eyes, crooked Joe endorsed unlimited extreme late-term abortion up to the moment of birth. And even after think of this, and even death after a baby is born. And I always am very clear about this. When I say the governor of Virginia, I always go back and say the former governor, because you don't want to be tied into this. But the former governor, I call him Michael Jackson. Remember? His wife saved him. He was going to moonwalk. He was trying to say why he wore blackface. And he was going to moonwalk across the stage. And that's when his wife finally put down her foot. Don't do it. Don't do it. You're already destroyed us. You've destroyed us. Don't do it. Remember, she stopped him, because nobody can moonwalk like Michael Jackson, the greatest people. So this would not have been a pretty scene. But he said that, and you can see it. I mean, they have tapes on it. He said the baby is born. Yes, the baby is born. And then we make a decision on what to do with the baby. And there's some states that allow that. It's not even believable. But think of that. But Biden celebrates throwing his political opponents in jail. He bragged about surrendering our energy independence and all of the other things that he's done in favor of China and India and other countries. And he claimed that the strength of our economy comes not from hardworking Americans, but from illegal aliens, where almost all of our new jobs have gone to illegal aliens. You know that? And just remember I said this because this is a disaster waiting to happen. You know, we're doing very well with the Black and Hispanic vote. We're doing very well with the union vote. Like record numbers, because we've done a lot. We've done criminal justice reform. We've saved the historically Black colleges and universities. We had great economic development programs with Tim Scott. Opportunity zones, it's called. It's probably the most successful opportunity. I mean, it's the most incredible thing. And that's gone largely to Black, Hispanic people. It's been great. So we've done a lot. But, you know, the worst thing that's happening to Black, number one, Hispanic, number two, unions, number three, is the millions of people pouring into our country. They're taking their jobs, and they're taking the Black jobs. People that have had their jobs for a long time are losing their jobs. And Hispanic jobs, people that have had them for a long time, they're losing their jobs. And you know who else is the biggest loser? Is going to be the unions. The unions, like the Teamsters. I have such respect for Sean. He's the head of the Teamsters. I don't want to throw around names, but he's a good man. And I don't know, I think, you know, we're at 89% approval within the Teamsters union. And I think I use Teamsters when I build buildings in Manhattan. They do unbelievable. They take the concrete trucks, and there's nobody can wheel a truck. These guys are incredible. And, you know, maybe we get lucky. Maybe somebody's smart, you know, when they have 89% approval and then they endorse, because for 50 years they endorse automatically. It's almost like automatic. They endorse the Democrat. But I think maybe the Teamsters go with us. You know, when you have a vast majority on your side, and then the person that did it, Hoffa did it last time, and he ended up getting sort of thrown out of the union. But I think they have some good leadership. I think a lot of unions are coming our way. But these millions and millions of people that are coming from prisons and jails, you know, there is a slight difference, okay? They're coming from prisons and jails, mental institutions, and insane asylums like Silence of the Lamb. The press always says, why does he ramble about Silence of the Lamb? The late, great Hannibal Lecter. He'd like to have you over for dinner. Did you ever? Don't do it. If he suggests, I'd like to have you for dinner, don't go. But these are the people that are coming into our country, and they're coming in at numbers that nobody can believe. Venezuela has its lowest crime rate in 30 years because they're taking their gang members and they're dropping them into Virginia. But you have a governor that's not letting them stay very long. Right? But Joe Biden and the Democrats know this, but they're unwilling to do, for whatever reason. I don't understand, for whatever. You know, you always like to understand the other side or your opponent's reasoning. Why would somebody want open borders? Why would somebody want men playing in women's sports? Why would somebody want 100% electric vehicles and they don't go far? They're too expensive. And you know what? They have a place. Elon is a friend of mine. He probably doesn't like me too much with what I say, but they have a great place for a certain application. But you don't want 100%. They've made so many. They've spent trillions of dollars on subsidies. You ever notice that the car companies aren't selling cars, but they seem to be very happy? You know why? Because they're getting massive amounts of subsidy from the government. Normally, they'd all be out of business because they're not selling cars. They're making far more electric vehicles than you need. But they do have a place. They have a great place, but it's 9%, 7%, 8%. You have hundreds of thousands of unsold cars. This would be a great time for you to go buy an electric vehicle. But the car companies normally would be losing their shirt. But this stupid, stupid, stupid man that we have is giving massive subsidies. He's given massive subsidies to windmills all over the country that are ruining our beautiful plains, our beautiful land, our beautiful oceans. Whales aren't exactly in love with them. How about in New Jersey, where they had one whale in 50 years that washed up to shore, and last year they had 18. Would you say there's something going on, little? They had one whale in 50 years. Last year, they had 18. That's a lot. And happening more. It does something to them. It drives them crazy. Joe Biden's radical left Democrat Party is now the party of open borders, massive tax hikes, the destruction of Social Security. They are destroying your Social Security because these millions of people are coming in. They're giving them Social Security. Do you believe this? They're destroying it. They're the party of endless wars, weaponization of law enforcement, lies, hoaxes, and corruption. They're corrupt people. The Republican Party is now the party for all Americans because the Republican Party is the party of common sense. Common sense. And in the wake of all these Biden disasters, it's time for our country to finally come together so that our whole nation can win together once again. We're going to win together. We're going to bring our country together with success. Our country, pre-COVID, we had a country that was rocking and rolling like no country in the history of the world. And everybody wanted to come together. It was going to unify. I was getting calls from people that I would have said were radical left, serious radical left, Democrats. They wanted to come. They wanted to have lunch. And then we got the gift from China, COVID, the China virus, as we more accurately call it. And we did a great job. You know, we were recognized for doing great economy. We started no wars. We rebuilt our military. We got the greatest tax cuts in history, greater than the Reagan tax cuts many years before. The greatest, we had the greatest cuts in regulation of any country and of this country. Nobody has even come within 25, 30% of what we did. We cut regulations at a level that nobody ever saw before. And, you know, when I went to the big companies and the small companies, and I'd say, which was more important, the biggest tax cuts in history or the biggest regulation cuts in history? I have never heard one person say the tax cuts. They'd say the regulation cuts were more important. People couldn't build. They couldn't do anything. They were just stagnated. We had a case in Louisiana where an LNG plant, it was stuck in 14 years of traffic. They couldn't get their environmental permits. I got them in one day when I came into office, one day. And they built a $15 billion, this is like 3 Empire State Buildings rolled over and put together. This was the longest thing I've ever seen, made up of like all pipes. And I said, what the hell? But it was a $15 billion project, and they couldn't get it done. I got it done in one day. I took all the things. I said, let's get it done. And then we got 2 of the other ones done, and they're doing unbelievable business. And it was foreign money being poured into the United States. They would have never gotten it approved. And we have many such plants, different types, but plants will never get approved. And all they do is produce good things for us and lots of jobs. And in Virginia, we're doing that too. We're working with your government to get a lot of things approved that you thought would never happen. And we'll get them done very, very quickly. But with these guys, you'll never get them done. You'll never get them done. They don't have any clue. All they know is electric. They want electric army tanks. They want electric planes. What happens if the sun isn't shining while you're up in the air? Well, sir, I told you there'd be problems, sir. No, they want electric everything. They want electric boats. The problem, the boats, they don't float because the battery is so heavy, it sinks the boat. They say, we don't care. We want them anyway. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, young or old, black, brown, or white, we welcome you to our movement and ask for your help and your partnership in making America the strongest, most magnificent country again anywhere in the world. As I said last night, I'm not in this race for me. I'm in this race for the sake of our country. You know, I told him last night, I wish you were a great president. I wouldn't even be here. I wouldn't have been indicted more than Al Capone. Al Capone was indicted one time. He was a killer. If he took you, see the guy standing up? See that guy? I don't know who the hell he is, but if Al Capone took him to dinner, he'd say, he's so obnoxious, kill him. He'd say, kill him. He'd be dead, and then the cops were afraid to investigate him. Al Capone did it? I'm not interested in looking at that. He'd be at the bottom of a foundation of a nice big building. And I got indicted more than Alphonse Capone, Scarface. Can you believe it? And it's all been because of Biden. But I said to him, I wish you were the greatest president because I wouldn't have run. I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't, look, it was rigged. The election was totally rigged, but I wouldn't have run. If he were a great president, I'd say, you know what, if he's doing a great job, that's so important. I wouldn't have run, and I wouldn't have been going through all this stuff. But I wouldn't be here with you, and I'm enjoying this. This is better than sitting home watching television. This is much better. This is better than being on some magnificent island that I own and enjoying the fruits of life. This is much better standing out here in 100-degree weather. Global warming. Every time it turns a little slightly warm, it's global warming. It's global. The planet is going to hell. What about those people that used to say we have 12 years, in which case we're all gone? That ended about 5 years ago. We keep waiting. No, he said last night, you know, he loves this word. It's an existential threat. Existential. He has no idea what the hell the word means. I was going to ask him. But he said it again last night, that global warming is an existential threat. And I say that the thing that's an existential threat is not global warming, where the ocean will rise, maybe, and it may go down also, but it may rise 1/8 of an inch in the next 497 years, they say. 1/8, which gives you a little bit more waterfront property if you're lucky enough to own. No, that's not the threat. You know what the threat is? That's the threat, Joe Biden. It's a threat. Now, the threat is weaponry. The threat is nuclear weapons, okay? The threat is nuclear warming. That can happen tomorrow. We have 6 countries out there with massive nuclear capability. He doesn't mention it. You know, I watch these people talking about global warming, and they don't use that now. They use climate change because global warming was no good because it was actually getting cooler. So they used to have in the 1920s, you know, they thought the planet was going to freeze. They had a thing, global cooling. They had a picture, I think it was on Time magazine, of the Earth, very cool. In the 1920s, it was a global cooling thing. But now they got smart. It's climate change. Because climate change, if it goes warm, it's good. If it goes cool, it doesn't matter what. If it rains, if it snows, if you have more tornadoes or less tornadoes. You know, I read about some bad tornadoes, and we do have bad tornadoes. But the worst tornado was in 1987. The worst tornado was in the 1800s. They say 1857 ripped the hell out of the country. In 1893, we had a series of tornadoes that made these look like babies. Now, that's only reporting, you know, who knows, but they were very serious. It's called weather. The risk is weaponry. The risk is nuclear warming, and we have to be careful. And we need our smartest people to head this up. My uncle was a professor at MIT, the longest-serving professor in the history of MIT, Dr. John Trump. And Dr. John Trump told me many years ago, I was a little boy, just like that beautiful kid over there. I wasn't as good looking as him, but other than that, but I was the same age. And you know what? He told me, I say, what do you mean, Uncle John? No, someday he knew nuclear better than anybody. You know, when he graduated from MIT, they said, would you do us a favor? What? Become a professor. And because he was so smart. And he said, well, I'd like to think about it, but he did. And he was there for 41 years. He's the longest serving professor in the history of MIT. He used to tell me about nuclear many years ago when I was a little boy. He said, someday you'll have a bomb that can do destruction, the likes of which nobody can even imagine. And I won't tell you what he said in terms of the power, but he would say just that. And then he'd go into some more details. And I said, no way, Uncle John. No way. And now he said, yes, that will be. And he was very worried about it. That's your threat, and we don't even talk about it. We never even met. Can you imagine this guy saying global warming is the greatest threat to our country? Global warming is fine. In fact, I heard it was going to be very warm today. It's fine. It's fine. I believe that, and we were united. I'll tell you, during that period of time, just prior to COVID coming in, I was with Tony Fabrizio and John McLaughlin, 2 of the great pollsters, and there are good pollsters. You know, we have a lot of fake pollsters, like we have a lot of fake news. They are fake news in a sense. But by the way, did you see, we had a poll last week, Rasmussen, which is a good poll. That's only good because I like them. You know, they happen to be good. If they were bad, like 2 months from now, I'd say they're terrible. But the Rasmussen poll is a big deal. It's a really good poll, and they have us up 10 points on this guy, 10 points. That's pretty good. And a friend of mine who's very smart, but he's not really into politics, he said, could I ask you a question? Why is 10 points good? You mean he's going to get 40 points? I said, you have to understand the Democrats basically get 40 points. It doesn't matter. If this lectern was running for office, it would get 40. Actually, Joe, that's true. They get 40 automatically. The Republicans have to do it the old-fashioned way. We have to earn it. We have to do like in 2016. We have to do really like 2020. You know, we got many millions of more votes in 2020 than we got in 2016. We did actually much better. But it was rigged. What are you going to do? But you know what? We're not going to let that happen again. We're not letting that happen. They used COVID to cheat. They did everything possible to cheat. And Hillary Clinton said, why didn't you do that to me? Why didn't you find those votes for me like you found for Sleepy Joe or Crooked Joe? Ready? Poll. Poll. What's a better name? I go Crooked Joe first, and then Crooked Joe Biden or Sleepy Joe Biden. Ready? Crooked Joe first. Who likes Crooked Joe Biden first? Okay. Who likes Sleepy Joe Biden? Similar. Similar. Okay, let's do it again. Crooked Joe Biden. Sleepy Joe Biden. Crooked. Crooked. The other time, last week I did that. You know, I like saving money. You go to these pollsters, they interview. I don't even think they interview them, if you want to know the truth. I think they just say they interview because they make money. I don't even think they interview. But they say they interview like 243 people, and they tell you what's going to happen with the race, right? And then they want to charge you $500,000. Politicians know this. And I come to these rallies, and I do my own polls. We have 25,000 people or something here today. I get a free poll. It's a free poll. Okay, here's another one. Who likes Governor Glenn Youngkin? That's the end of that. I don't know who to put against him because there's nobody going to win. Anyway, well, you're right. But we were a truly united country, and I believe that we can be a very great country again. It's going to be stronger. It's going to be more glorious. It's going to be better than ever. We're going to make our country better than ever. Our mission must start with restoring safety to America. One of the most disturbing lies out of Crooked Joe's mouth in our debate last night was when he denied anything having to do with the border. Anything having to do with the border. He said the border is such a lovely place, letting massive numbers of terrorists pour into our country. Just 2 days ago, news reports revealed that while Biden was taking his 10-day rest and study period, it was a rest and study. Where is he going to be? I love Camp David, by the way. I'm not a rustic person. I don't love rustic look, but I loved it. You had to see this place. I started to love it. Very seductive. You go up these log cabins. They're so beautiful, the best. And I'd see FDR, pictures of FDR and pictures of the great presidents. And it was so historic and so incredible. But I'm not sure he has any idea what the history is. He just likes a log cabin. He wants to lock himself in. He wants a place to sleep, okay? Just leave me alone. Leave me alone. I want to sleep. I'm studying for the debate. I want to sleep and study. That's all I'm going to do for 10 days while the world is going to hell. But he had a study period at Camp David while more than 50 terrorists, 55 to be exact, were running into the United States after Biden allowed them to cross our wide open southern border. Crooked Joe has no idea where they are, what kind of slaughter they intend to commit, but you will bet anything. ISIS terrorists, 55 of them last week. ISIS terrorists, the worst in the world. By the way, I defeated ISIS, you know that, with General Kane, right? Raisin Kane, you know that story, Raisin Kane. He was great, great general, real general, not the television. We have a lot of television generals, they're no good. Like Milley. How about Milley? We had some, like the dumbest of them all, General Kelly. He didn't know. He was lost in the White House. That poor guy didn't know what the hell was happening. He was like a lost, we used to call him a lost soul. Under the Trump administration, we will not rest until we have found every single radical Islamic terrorist who Joe Biden has let into America. We will arrest them or we will throw them the hell out of our country immediately, and we will not let them back in. We have no choice. And already Biden's open border nightmare has stolen countless innocent lives. Yesterday in Houston, you read about this. 12-year-old Jocelyn Nunguri was laid to rest by her grieving mother, who I spoke to yesterday, incredible woman, just devastated. Literally, I was going up to the debate, and I got the return call from the mother, and I talked to her, and they're screaming at me, "Sir, you're going to the debate. You're going right now, sir." You know, and I'm on the phone, and I said, "I can't, I might be late, but that's okay." But I said, I will. I did talk to her, and then I said, I'll speak to you, and I'm going to call her today or tomorrow. A devastated person. She was a devastated person, but her precious daughter became yet another victim of the Biden migrant crime. People that would have never come in here. In fact, a lot of these people that you're reading about, we threw them out. They were gone, and they came back under Biden. Last week, Jocelyn was savagely tied up, viciously assaulted, and brutally murdered by two Biden migrants who Crooked Joe released into the United States to prey on our women and girls. One of these monsters waited just 20 days before ending Jocelyn's beautiful American life. Crooked Joe proved last night he has no regret, no remorse, had no idea who she was, no empathy and no compassion for all the innocent victims whose lives have been just absolutely destroyed. And you look at so many of the other young people that you're hearing about, so many of them are young, 13, 12, raped and killed, 13 years old, 12 years old, raped and killed. And remember this, I say this a lot, this is just starting because they're just getting comfortable in the country. They never heard about politically correct law enforcement. We have the greatest police in the world, but they're not allowed to do their job. And we're going to let them do their job. And we're going to give them immunity so they can't be prosecuted for doing their job. Joe Biden inherited a great border because I fixed it. Remember, I fixed it in 2016. I got elected because of the border. But that border was nothing compared to what we have. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But I fixed it. It was a big deal. And I would say it was probably one or two in terms of my points that I had a lot of things. But the border was a big deal. It was a bad border. I fixed it so much so that I couldn't even speak about it during the 2020 race because it didn't, nobody cared about it anymore because it was fixed. So he inherited a perfect border and he proceeded to destroy it almost immediately. He destroyed it at a level that nobody could even believe, but many times worse than it was in 2016. I'd love, you know, I have a chart. I don't know if these guys don't know about this, but I have a chart that if they could find it, put it up, because there's one little stat on this chart. Oh, wow. These guys have become good. You know, it used to take a day to get that chart. They'd say, "Sir, we'll have it up tomorrow." I said, "Tomorrow's not going to help me, Glenn." So you see the arrow, Glenn, on the bottom. See the arrow, the big red arrow on the bottom. That's the lowest level of illegal immigration ever in recorded history right there. That's the week that I left office. And look what happened after that. Look at the numbers on the right. Look at what happened after that. So that was the lowest level, and then it started marching upward. But what you don't see are the drugs. We're at the lowest level in 32 years. The human trafficking, mostly in women. They traffic in women. And that's now back at a level that we've never even seen or imagined before. But I love that chart. You know, that chart is just a small chart in with other numbers like poll numbers and things that are so impressive, even fundraising. You know, we raised more money after this crooked trial than we've ever raised, I think, than any candidate. I think we raised over $400 million. Can you believe it? I would say if we did 10 million, it would be a lot. During this period, 10 million is a lot of money. They raised over $400 million during this very short period of time, a little period of time. If we would have done like 8 or 9 or 10, it would have been great. But they did numbers that no, because everyone knows they're a bunch of crooked people. These are crooked people using justice to try and win an election. But I'm proud of that chart. It was in with other things that are very important, but there's something about the importance of this that I really thought we could show it, and sometimes we'll take it out, show it to some of these big crowds. When I return to the White House, we will stop the plunder, rape, slaughter, and destruction of American suburbs, cities, and towns. And for the suburban women, who I actually think vote for me, I think that's, you know, they say, the suburban women. What, you saw Biden, you like Biden? Yeah. The suburban women, you know why they like me? Because I'm going to keep them safe. I'm going to keep them safe. We're going to keep them safe. And I think it's fake. I think we do great with suburban women, but I always read, he's trying to get the suburban women. No, I think they like me because I'm going to keep them safe. Militarily and also from the standpoint of borders and everything else. We will shut down deadly sanctuary cities. I will shift massive portions of federal law enforcement to immigration enforcement. And on day one, we will begin the largest domestic deportation operation in the history of our country. And we have no choice. Have no choice. And as we discussed last night with Crooked Joe, the Biden border invasion has also been a disaster. And I say it, and I'll say it again. For the African-American, Hispanic-American communities more than anybody else, virtually all of the net jobs created have gone to Biden migrants. Who would think that? I heard that a week ago. I said, you got to give me that stat. Almost every job, did you know that? It's hard to believe, actually. Almost every new job has gone to illegal immigrants. Joe Biden wants to be the president for illegal aliens, and I want to be the president for Americans of every background, every walk of life, every race, religion, color, and creed. And remember, Joe Biden used the term super predators. He used it for 10 years. He used it more than anybody else. That's not a man that likes black people. I will tell you, that's not a man. Super predator. Ask him about it. I brought it up last night. He went, oh. Super predator, ask him. And honestly, only black people know what that term represents. 1990s, Joe Biden, super predator for 10 years. Every day, more African Americans and Hispanic Americans are joining our movement, and that's one of the major reasons that we're going to win the Commonwealth of Virginia this fall. And our case to Virginia is very simple. We will seal the border. We will make the American dream affordable again, but we will bring back the American dream, something you don't hear about anymore. You're going to have the American dream back. Working with your great governor, Glenn Youngkin, we will make Virginia greater than it has ever been before. Under my leadership, we had the greatest economy in the history of the world. That was proven time and time again. During my term, we had gasoline down to $1.87 a gallon. And by the way, take a look at gasoline. It's going up rapidly. Do you see what's going on? That's going up. And by the end, the 30-year mortgage, think of this, was 2.6%. It was 2.6% interest. And you know what it is now? It's 10%, but you can't get the money. So the American dream of owning a house is impossible. When I left office, inflation was almost nothing. How about this guy going around saying it was 9%? No, it was 9% when he didn't enter. About 14 months after he got in, he had to go from almost nothing to 9%. But he had a period where he had what they call the Trump float. He had all the good things, including the bounce back jobs that they took. They said all these pandemic jobs, we said, close it down, do whatever you want. And then when it opens, they're called bounce back jobs. And they bounce back to bigger than where it was before. He takes the credit for it. You don't take credit for a bounce back. Joe Biden accidentally admitted last night, quote, there was no inflation when I became president. He made a mistake. That was where I said, did you mean that, Joe? You mean you're... Now, Virginia families are being crushed by Crooked Joe. You can't afford groceries, rent, a house, a car payment, or anything else. I think your real rate of inflation, by the way, they say 24, 25%. I think if you really add the right items and you include interest where you can't get a mortgage, but if you do, you're going to pay much more than 10%. I think your rate of inflation is 35 to 50%, and that's killing this country. It's a country buster. It's a family buster. It's busting up everything. We have the highest inflation, in my opinion, in the history of our country. In fact, Biden didn't have inflation for the first, so he didn't have it for many, many months because I gave him something that was beautiful. I gave him a clean, beautiful border. All he had to do is leave Tom Homan and leave these great people. You know, Brandon Judd, great. Oh, and he had a news conference today because Biden last night used his name in vain. He said, I never supported Biden and I never would. He said, I support Trump. I don't support Biden. He has no support. He doesn't have support from one police group anywhere in the country. Frankly, he's a defunder. If you want to know, defund the police. That's another brilliant policy that they have. And then like a nightmare, it all began. But on day one of my new administration, we will throw out Bidenomics and we will replace it. We are going to replace it with Maganomics. 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 To stop Bidenflation, I will end Joe Biden's colossal waste of American taxpayer dollars, and I will rapidly terminate a thing called the Green New Scam. It's the greatest scam in the history of our country. We're spending trillions and trillions of dollars on nonsense, on things that all they do is cause waste and inflation. I will repeal every disastrous Biden regulation. He's adding them back as fast as he can, killing our jobs. Cancel Crooked Joe's insane electrical, think of it, the electric vehicle mandate. It's called the EV mandate. And we will do something like we've never done it before, although we did it pretty good 5 years ago. You know, 5 years ago, we were totally non-reliant on oil and gas from other countries. We were going to soon be energy dominant. We're going to be sending it out to Europe, all over the world. Nobody had ever seen anything like it. And then this guy ended it. Then prices went up and he started saying, oh, let him drill, let him drill. But if this election went bad, our country is going to be destroyed. But they will go back to that policy on the day after it opens up. And you're going to have electric bills that will be triple what they are now. Because when we get in, we're going to have a very simple phrase. We will drill, baby, drill. We're going to drill, baby, drill. Think of it. 4 years ago, we were energy independent. Now we're begging Venezuela, one of the safest places on earth. It's true. Though their crime rate is down to the lowest that they've ever had. Their crime rate is down 72% because they've taken all of their criminals, they've taken all of their prisoners, they've taken all of their drug lords, drug dealers, they've taken all of their gang members and brought them to the United States of America. Congratulations. Congratulations, everybody. And they brought them in, so their crime rate is, wait, you have here, the crime is down 72%. They've taken their criminals and they deposited, and then they just got up 2 weeks ago and said, under no circumstances will we take any of them back. So here's what we're going to do. Next year, we're all going to meet as a group. And if this guy, it's not even conceivable that he's in. I hate to even want to suggest it. Let's say in a few months we'll do this. We're going to meet again. We're going to meet in Venezuela because it's the safest place on earth. You know, in Caracas, a year ago, 2 years ago, you had no chance of walking across the street if you were a woman without being accosted, beat up, shot, knifed to death. Now it's a very safe city because they've moved everybody into the United States of America. How stupid are we? How stupid are we? And their crime rates way down. And all over the world, their prison populations are down. And the fake news, look at them all over back there. The fake news doesn't want to talk about it. They say Donald Trump has a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy. No, it's not conspiracy. And by the way, if I were one of the presidents or dictators, as I call them, most of them are dictators, but they go under the term president. But I know them all very well. I would have been doing better than them. I would have had 100% over in this country by now. They're emptying their prisons. You know what that is? They're emptying their mental institutions into our country. Do you know the money they save? The money is massive. And we have all the problems. Nothing good is going to come out. And we have ISIS terrorists. We have terrorists pouring into our country. Just bad things are going to happen. And it's all because of this incompetent president, the worst president in history. If he gets back in, Joe Biden has also vowed to pulverize Virginia families with the largest tax hikes in history. Congratulations. He pledged that the Trump tax cuts are, quote, going to expire, and if I'm elected, it's going to stay expired. That means he's going to raise your taxes by 4 times. This would be the largest. You know that, Len. He wants to give you the largest tax increase in the history of our country. It's going to decimate Virginia, and it's going to decimate every state, and it's not his fault. You'll have to take the heat. Maybe that's what they're doing. You'll have to take the heat. But they want to decimate because those tax cuts went more to the middle class and the lower class than to anybody else and the creation of jobs. But instead of a Biden tax increase, I will deliver a Trump and call it a Trump middle class tax cut. And all of my life, I said it last night, I've watched as politicians cut taxes. This guy wants to raise your taxes by 4 times, and people say, oh, let's vote for him. I don't know. They don't use the term liberal anymore. They use the term progressive, you know, because it's a nice sounding word. I'm a progressive. But it's not a good word. It's a really bad word. And we will have a brand new Trump economic boom. We're going to cut taxes. So we cut taxes substantially, massively, the biggest tax. And with a lower rate, we did much more business, much more revenue than we had before the cuts. In other words, we just did better. And Apple and Microsoft, all these companies were bringing their money back from offshore countries, from other countries. They were bringing it back into the United States because they essentially weren't allowed to from a practical standpoint because the tax was so high and the bureaucracy of doing it was almost impossible, they say. So we're going to do more tax cutting. And we're going to have this country at a level that you've never seen it before. And we're going to, you know, underfoot, under the ground, we have more liquid gold, oil and gas than any country on earth. And, you know, we had a thing called ANWR in Alaska. Ronald Reagan wanted to get it approved. He couldn't do it. Everybody wanted to get it approved. I got it approved. The first week of Biden, they disapproved it. The greatest tax, the greatest reserves, they say, outside of perhaps Saudi Arabia, could be greater than Saudi Arabia, would have been so great for Alaska, but would have been great for this country. Massive, massive oil reserves, and they turned it down. These people are horrible. I've announced that as part of those tax cuts, I will eliminate all taxes on tips. A very simple statement, no taxes on tips. I got that idea the other night. I'm in Las Vegas at my place, which is a very nice place, having dinner with some people, big people, successful people, talking about the future of the country, and they're very worried about it. And the waitress came over. I said, how are you doing? Been there for a long time. And she said, they're killing me on tips. I said, really? They go after? He said, you have no idea. They just issued new regulations that make it impossible for us to live. And I was actually surprised to hear it. No taxes on tips. And when I announced that last week, you know, my phone's lit up. I never saw anything like that. That was a very popular thing to announce, but it's a good thing. You earn the money, you keep the money. Every time you leave a tip for the next 5 months, make sure to write on the receipt, vote for Trump for no taxes on tips. It's no wonder Joe Biden and his thugs are so desperate to stop us. They know that we are the only ones who can stop them. A great thing just happened a few hours ago. You probably heard about it, but maybe you didn't because some of you have been standing in line for 3 days. Do you know that? These people, right? They've been online for 3 days to get into your place, Glenn. This is crazy. You must have heard that Glenn is going to be here with his superstar son. We do, right? Don't we? I think he's great. Doing great. But just this happened a few hours ago. The Supreme Court ruled that Biden's Department of Justice has wrongly prosecuted hundreds of Americans for peacefully protesting on January 6th. Those people have been treated so badly, especially when you compare them with people that ripped apart and killed people in Portland and in Seattle and in other places. They have been treated so badly. So we're asking, based on the decision, they should immediately be released, immediately, the J6 hostages. But all of these people, whether it's the thugs in Portland, the thugs of Seattle, the thugs of Minneapolis, how about Minneapolis? It was burning down. Remember the guy from CNN? Although I shouldn't knock CNN because I actually thought they treated me very fairly last night. Very professional, both of them. Jake and Dana, they treated us very fairly. They abused me for years, but last night, right? What happened? They treated me very fairly. I think it's great. I think it was great for them. It was great for CNN, but I thought they were very fair. But all of those thugs, and then you take the monument-wrecking thugs of Washington, D.C. Remember they came into Washington? And, you know, you thought maybe there was a little bit of a racial anger. But then they wanted to take down the statue of Abraham Lincoln. I'm saying, what's this all about? But they only wanted to do things until I got tough with them and imposed a 10-year jail sentence on anyone for so much as touching any one of our magnificent monuments. And it was amazing to watch them flee the city. They fled. They fled the city very rapidly from that moment on. You know, I brought out an old law that had been done in the early 1900s, and it said that if you touch a statue, you get a maximum fine of 10 years in jail. And you can't do anything about it. It's 10 years in jail, and that's it. So I reinstated that law. You could never have a law like that passed today because it's too tough. They don't do things. Until the country's really in trouble, they won't do things. But I took it out. I reenacted it. And as soon as I did, in other words, 10 years in jail if you get caught doing anything to one of our beautiful monuments or statues. They fled Washington. It was a beautiful sight. I watched them go up. Look at them go. Look at them go. No, because it's what they understand. But based on the Supreme Court, the great Supreme Court, we put 3 incredible justices on. They had, I understand, another 3, and they did the right thing. Free the J6 hostages now. They should free them now for what they've gone through. They've been waiting for this decision for a long time. They've been waiting for a long time, and that was a great answer. That was a great thing for people that have been so horribly treated. So many of these people were told to go in, right? The police, go in, go in, go in. What's going on? And they put them in jail for years and years. All of their persecution is only happening, and all of it has happened to me because I'm running for president and leading very substantially in all of the polls, every single poll. We're leading in every state. We're even leading in the state, or as you would say, the Commonwealth of Virginia. No, we're leading in the Commonwealth, and I'm glad I corrected that, right? If I didn't correct it, well, they'll put it on tonight. They'll have it cut just prior to, they'll cut it just prior to. No, the Commonwealth is great, but we're leading, and it could be a very substantial lead, but we have one poll with 2 up, another one with 3 up, another one with 4 up, one we're even, but that was a very Democrat poll. I don't believe that. But we're going to make Virginia greater than ever before. I hope you get out and do this, because these people are destroying our country. As you saw last night, it's all coming straight from Crooked Joe himself because he thinks it's the only way that he can win. All of this persecution of people, it's all coming from Joe Biden and his thugs, because I'm not even sure he knows what the hell's going on. But he's surrounded by vicious thugs. He's surrounded by fascists and communists. But since the show trial in New York, my poll numbers have increased so substantially, nobody's seen anything like it. And I think last night will not detract from that. And fundraising, as I said, is at an all-time high. The radical left Democrats rigged the presidential election in 200. Think of this. They rigged the election in 2020 like nobody's ever seen before. And we're not going to allow them to rig the presidential election in 2024. We're not going to allow it to happen. And every time the radical left Democrats, Marxists, communists, and fascists, every time they indict me, I consider it a great badge of honor because I'm being indicted for you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Never forget, our enemies want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom. They want to silence me because I will never let them silence you. And in the end, they're not after me. They're after you. I just happen to be standing in their way, and I always will. So we're thrilled to be joined today by many outstanding Virginia patriots, great people, including the next senator from the Commonwealth of Virginia, Hung Cao. He's going to be, I think he's going to be great. You're going to win. What do you think? Is he going to win, Glenn? You're going to help him? We got to help. Hey, Glenn, should we have him come up for a second? Come on up. We got to get him to win. Because let me tell you, his opponent is terrible. He's just terrible. Hung is a graduate of the U.S. Naval Academy, and he served with special operations in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Somalia. He was one of the most brave guys. They talk about it. He's become a legend, and that's why he's running. And now he's running to fight for the hardworking people of Virginia. Hung Cao will vote to secure our borders, stop Joe Biden's inflation nightmare, and crack down on violent crime. He will vote for low taxes, low regulations, and low energy prices, and he is a warrior. He'll support our police and our veterans, and most importantly, Hung Cao will defeat a terrible senator, a man who's got very little respect in Washington, D.C. His name is Tim Kaine. Nobody respects him. They call him a walking mat. He votes for anything Biden wants. He's got a 100% record of voting for Crooked Joe. Tim Kaine has voted repeatedly to continue Joe Biden's border invasion. I don't know how you people, this is killing you, and yet this guy votes all the time to keep it going. Tim Kaine, let the people pour into our country, even if they're criminals, even if they're mental patients. He voted to protect deadly sanctuary cities. He voted for the largest proposed amnesty plan and tax plan in American history. He voted against Kate's Law to, think of that, how do you vote against Kate's Law? And he voted to terminate Title 42. He voted to give illegal aliens taxpayer-funded benefits, the likes of which nobody has ever seen, including our great veterans. Virginia cannot afford 6 more years of Tim Kaine and his open borders agenda. Everybody's got to get out and vote for Hung Cao. I love this name. He is really going to be great. Hung, say a few words, please.
Mr. President, the only person better off today than they were 4 years ago is an illegal alien. We're going to fight for America. We're going to put Americans first, like we always have, with your leadership, sir.
Go get him. That's it. Telling you, he's going to win, man. That guy he's got a serious handshake. Well, I'm sorry, but I think my hand may be broken. He's a tough cookie. That's a serious handshake you have. Thank you. You're going to win. You're going to win. A lot of people are going to win that nobody's thinking of. And, it's amazing what's happening. What's happening is really amazing. But this is a guy who's going to win, and you're going to be proud of him for many, many years. We're also grateful to be joined by the governor of this magnificent Commonwealth. His name happens to be Glenn Youngkin, and he's one of the greatest governors in the country. And I know he just spoke, but I'd love to have him come up and say a few additional words. Thank you very much.
Here we go. Okay, Virginia, are you ready to win? Mr. President,
This is the best Trump rally that you have ever had, and you're doing it in Virginia. And yes, on behalf of 8.7 million Virginians, Mr. President, we are going to go to work and get you back in the White House.
He really is. He's a great governor doing an incredible job, and we appreciate it. He's also a tall governor, very tall governor. The only one I know taller is my son, Barrett. That kid is tall, and he's a good boy, and he sees this country, and it distresses him when he sees what's happening at a young age. People understand. Smart people understand. But I want to thank the governor for the great job he's done in the Commonwealth. It's done an incredible job, and everybody's talking about it too. Thanks as well to Virginia Attorney General Jason Mears. Jason Mears. Where's Jason? Come on, Jason, let's go. What the hell is a Friday? Come on. Come on, Jason. I hear great things. All I know is Glenn tells me he's doing a great job as Attorney General. I don't have to hear anymore. That's the one that matters. Come on, Jason.
Well, I first, as the Attorney General, as a top law enforcement official in the Commonwealth, I have to say, Mr. President, after seeing last night's debate, I instructed my adult abuse investigators to investigate the DNC for forcing Joe Biden to run for president. But when we talk about what's at stake at this election, it's three simple initials: USA.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney General. Is everybody having a good time? So one of the great congressmen, a person who knows more about our military, I think, than maybe anybody. He's from a wonderful state known as Florida, and he's highly respected by everybody he knows. Just a real professional, and he hates seeing what he's seeing because he sees our country, a nation in decline is what he sees, and it's very sad to watch, but we're going to turn it around. Congressman Michael Waltz. Thank you, Michael. Great job. And Michael would agree that Congresswoman Jen Kiggins is a fantastic talent, a fantastic woman. Where is she? She is doing a great job. Thank you very much, Jen. Thank you. Great job. Everyone tells me, look, Secret Service won't let her up. Secret Service, they're tough. They don't play games. Thank you very much, Jen. We appreciate it. Thank you. A man who was treated very unfairly by the thugs, the same thugs that we're going to dethrone, like a deranged Jack Smith. He's a deranged person. How's he doing? I don't think he's doing so well. He's a deranged person, but he gave a man named Bob McDonnell, your former governor, he gave him a very unfair, they all did, they gave him a very unfair treatment, but Bob has done incredibly well. He went through it, and he's a great guy. Former Governor Bob McDonnell. Thank you very much. The deranged one we have. You're not a fan. You're not a fan of those guys, right, Bob? And now Bob showed them for what they are. Former governor and a really wonderful senator and a good guy and a friend of mine, George Allen. George, thank you. Thank you, George. I knew his father very well, and his father was a great coach. He was really a good coach. He was, he knew how to win, right? He knew how to win. Former Governor Jim Gilmore. Jim, thank you. Thank you, Jim. Congressional nominees, Lori Buck out, Lori. Thank you. Good luck. Oh, you're going to do well. You're scheduled to win. They have you down. Another one scheduled to win, Derek Anderson. Good. You're going to do great. We're going to get it. He's running against one of the Vindman twins. Vindman, is that correct? The Vindman twins. These are the worst people. You got to win that race, Derek. They are the worst people. They reported a false conversation. They made up a story about a certain conversation that was false. And they act like they're hot stuff. They're not. All they have to do is look in the mirror and they'll realize. And look at this guy. He's like a movie star, right? Look at this guy. No, the brothers, they're twins. And I heard one is worse than the other. I think you're running against the worst one. We're going to fight for you. You got to win that race. You got to teach the Vindmans. We got to get them out. And another man who started a little bit down to somebody, I won't mention his name. I will not mention his name. Bob Good, I won't mention his name. And Bob Good was terrible to me for 3 years. And I used to say, who is this guy? And then for the last 6 months, he was great. But I couldn't forget the 3 years, so I had to make a decision. And we had a man named John McGuire, who was a Navy SEAL. And, you know, I know a lot of tough guys, and they wanted to be Navy SEALs. It was their dream to be a Navy SEAL. That's all they thought about. And in many cases, like sons of friends of mine, they want to be a Navy SEAL. They couldn't get there. It's a very tough thing to do. It's really tough. Guys at the perfect physical specimens, everything great, and they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. And this guy is a full-fledged Navy SEAL at the highest level. And he beat an opponent who was a leader, a big leader in the House, a Republican leader. And Bob McGuire, you're going to have a great race. You're going to win, and you are a hero. Thank you very much. That was amazing. That was amazing. It was an honor to endorse him. You know, he started off, not a lot of people knew him. I endorsed him, and he went up 27 points. And he ended up winning by, like, doesn't matter, a few hundred votes. We'll take it. Doesn't matter. 2 votes is okay, too. What a great campaign you ran. Congratulations. He's a Navy SEAL. Thank you very much, John. John McGuire, everybody. And also a man who's a tough cookie, and he's doing a great job. Virginia GOP Chair, Rich Anderson. He says we're going to win. Rich, thank you. Are we going to win, right? We got to win. Oh, by the way, we win Virginia, the race is over. You understand that? So I don't want to put any pressure on Randy and on Glenn and on everybody else, but we win Virginia, you know, it's over. It's over. I saw that today. They said if he wins Virginia on top of everything else, it's over. And former Congressman, good guy, Randy Forbes. Randy, thank you. Thank you. You look good. Thank you, Randy. Above all, because we are near so many military facilities, I want to salute every single U.S. service member and veteran in the audience today. We have the highest rating with the veterans of any president. Thank you. So let's have a big round of applause for the men and women of the United States Armed Forces. Under the Trump administration, we fully rebuilt the U.S. military, and we created Space Force. We totally defeated the ISIS territorial caliphate 100%. We did it in 4 weeks. They said it was going to take 5 years. We extinguished the founder and leader of ISIS, al-Baghdadi. We terminated the worst top terrorist, Qasem Soleimani. These are the 2 top terrorists in the world. We left Iran weak and broke and begging to make a deal. They wanted to make a deal so badly. We would have made a deal. We would have made a good deal for them. But then we had the rigged election, and now we have an incompetent president. We stood with our friends and ally in the state of Israel. We recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. And we recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights, something they were trying to do for 70 years. And with the Abraham Accords, we made peace in the Middle East at a level that nobody has ever seen, the Abraham Accords. We had Russia, China, and North Korea in check, and I was the first president in decades who started no new wars Instead, I brought our troops back home. We brought them all back home. If I was president, the war in Ukraine would never have happened. The October 7th attack on Israel would never have happened. The Russian nuclear submarines would not be circling Cuba 60 miles off our Miami coast. Think of it. We have Russian submarines circling Cuba, and the fake news media doesn't want to talk about it. If you were president, they'd be calling for your indictment. If Bob was president, but you could handle it, you've proven that. If anybody was president that was a Republican, they don't even talk about it. Think of it. We have Russian submarines and Russian warships in Cuba, and Cuba's right next to Miami, in case you don't know. Can you imagine? And the fake news media, those people right there with all those cameras, they don't want to talk about it. For our great veterans, we passed VA accountability and VA choice, two things they said were impossible to get passed. And while Joe Biden pretends to be a defender of veterans, Crooked Joe has tried to rehire the sadists who mistreated our great. You know, we fired 9,000 people out of the VA because they were sadistic, they were sadists, they were hurting our veterans, they were thieves, they were crooks, they were bullies. We fired 9,000. Biden now wants to hire them all back. He's trying to reinstate 5,000 poorly performing VA. These are all people that I fired, VA employees that I fired, and give them back full pay. We fired them because they were sadists and they were bullies and they were hurting people that weren't in prime time. It'll cost us $200 million in back pay. This is what he wants. He wants to put the thugs back into the VA, and people are not happy. On day one of my new administration, I will fully restore the use of VA accountability and direct my Secretary of Veterans Affairs. And by the way, all this stuff passed Congress. I got to pass Congress. Wasn't just an executive order. And direct my Secretary of Veterans Affairs, my last one did a great job, to fire every corrupt abuser of our veterans who Joe Biden wants to keep on the payroll, wants to have them back. As Commander-in-Chief, I will defend our military. I will always honor our veterans, and I will restore peace through strength. Before I even arrive at the Oval Office, shortly after we win the presidency, we win the presidency, I will have the horrible war between Russia and Ukraine totally settled. I know a good guy who could settle it. That guy right there, Glenn. He would settle it. He did some pretty tough deals. You have good experience for settling. Yesterday's debate should make it clearer than ever how important it is to elect a competent president who will prevent World War III. I'm the only one that can say it. I know every one of those players, and they respect us. In my next term, we will build a great iron dome over our country, a dome the likes of which no one has ever seen before, a state-of-the-art missile defense shield that will be entirely built and made in the USA. And largely in the Commonwealth of Virginia. A lot of it is expected to be done right here in Virginia. You know, Israel has a dome, but we have technology. Ronald Reagan wanted it to happen years ago, but we didn't have the technology, in all fairness, then. But he wanted it. But now we have incredible technology. As you know, 300 missiles were recently shot at Israel, and 299 were knocked down, and one was basically disabled. So they stopped 300 missiles from going into Israel, and we were going to have a better dome, a more technologically capable dome, and we're going to build a great dome over this country because we deserve it. We deserve it. Despite Joe Biden's flagrant lies on the debate stage, I will not cut one penny from Social Security or Medicare, which is what he is going to do. He's destroying Social Security. I kept that promise for 4 straight years, and I'll keep it again. Remember, I didn't increase. I didn't do. You know, they talk about Russia. Russia, under Bush, took land. Russia, under Obama, took land. Russia, under Biden, is going to take the whole thing, it looks like. Russia, under Trump, took nothing. They took nothing. It's true. It's true. Pinocchio Joe lied about all the things that I did to preserve Social Security. He's going to destroy Social Security by allowing all of these people in and using it. Remember that, Congressman. You got to stop him. And even his lies about now the inexpensive insulin. So I was the one that got you the inexpensive, not him. That was done 3 years ago. And the sad thing, it came due 2 years later. And I said, you mean if I lose this race? That was at the time. The new president's going to get credit. And he goes around talking about how he did insulin. I did the insulin, where the seniors get insulin at a very low price. By contrast, Joe Biden has cut Medicare Advantage payments for 2 straight years, a total betrayal to our seniors. Biden has cut Advantage payments. We're going to rebuild our cities into beacons of hope, safety, and beauty, better than they have ever been before. We will take our horribly run capital of our nation in Washington, D.C., and clean it up, renovate it, and rebuild a capital the likes of which that even we haven't seen in its prime. We will get rid of the murder and the crime. You go from Virginia to take a tour of the Capitol, look at the great monuments and all, you end up getting shot, mugged, knifed. We're going to clean it up, and we're going to get rid of all the crime. There's not going to be any crime. On day one, I will sign a new executive order to cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, transgender insanity, and any other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content onto the shoulders of our children. And I will not give 1 penny to any school that has a vaccine mandate or a mask mandate. And I will keep men out of women's sports. And fully uphold, of course, the totally under siege Second Amendment. We will protect innocent life, and we will restore free speech, and I will secure our elections like never before. Our elections will be one-day voting with paper ballots, proof of citizenship, and voter ID. Very simple. But until then, Republicans must win. We're going to count on Virginia more than just about any place else. We're so close. This would be an incredible historic victory. We want a landslide that's, and remember this term, too big to rig. We want a landslide that's too big to rig. If it's too big to rig, if it's too big, they can't rig it. They're going to try. They're bad. They have no shame. If you took the 10 worst presidents in the history of the United States and added them up, they would not have done the near, think of it, they wouldn't have done near the destruction to our country as Joe Biden and the Biden administration has done. So if you want to save America, go out, get your family, get your friends, get everyone you know, and vote. Vote early, vote absentee, vote on election day. But whatever you do, you have to go out and vote. You have to vote. And if you want us to help ensure election integrity, sign up to Protect the Vote. It's very simple. Get out and help us. ProtectTheVote.com. Very simple. Protect, because we don't need votes. We need protection of the votes once they're cast, because these people will do anything to stay in power. So ProtectTheVote.com. Help us protect the vote. We're going to protect it. And we have law enforcement. Every law enforcement agency in Virginia and every other place has endorsed us. They're going to all be watching. From Fredericksburg to Williamsburg, from Alexandria to Norfolk, and from Roanoke to Richmond, to right here in Chesapeake, Virginia. It's been the home of some of the greatest American heroes ever to walk the face of the earth. This is the place where George Washington led the patriots of the Continental Army to victory at Yorktown. What a history you have. Virginia was the home of Thomas Jefferson, who wrote those immortal words, "All men are created equal." And Virginia gave us James Madison, James Monroe, Lewis and Clark, Booker T. Washington, Ella Fitzgerald, the Bedford Boys who gave their lives on D-Day, and Patrick Henry, who declared, "Give me liberty or give me death." Pretty good. That's a pretty good history. That's not bad. You know, I stop at a lot of states. They don't quite have a lot of that, right, Governor? Together, they help build America into the greatest and most exceptional nation in the history of the world. But now we are a nation that is in serious decline. We are a failing nation. Very sad thing to say. We are a nation that has lost its confidence, willpower, and strength. We are a nation that has, quite honestly, lost its way. But we are not going to allow this horror to continue. Less than 4 years ago, we were a great nation, and we will soon be a great nation again. With the right leadership, every disaster Joe Biden has created can be fixed, and can be fixed really very, very quickly, and we will get it done fast. Every problem can be solved, and every wrong can be rectified. By this time next year, America's borders will be strong, sealed, and secure. Inflation will be in full retreat. Our economy will be roaring back. Optimism will be surging. The American dream will be thriving again for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. Law and justice will reign all throughout our land. Freedom will be restored. The flame of liberty will be burning bright. Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of our country, will be a fading memory of the past, and our great silent majority, including the once forgotten men and women of our country, will be the ones shaping America's magnificent future when I am the 47th president of the United States. Because we are all Americans, and together we will show November 5th to be the most important day in the history of America. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. And together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. We will make America free again. And we will make America great again. Thank you very much, Virginia. God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you very much.
There we go. All right. There we go. What did y'all think about that? You know, Trump always does a great job, man. He always does a great job. One hell of a speech, something Joe Biden could never do in his lifetime. Joe Biden can never pull that off. Never pull that off. That right there was amazing. I see everybody saying they loved it. Appreciate all the super chats that was coming through. Appreciate, I think I had got a PayPal donation. I appreciate the PayPal donation as well. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. But like I said, this right here was amazing by Donald Trump. I'm not going to keep y'all long. I think we probably got some more videos to crank out for the day, but I'm still definitely upset with not going live yesterday due to the threats by CNN, but it's okay. We ain't going to let that hinder us no more. We ain't going to let that bother us no more, so we ain't going to worry about it. Salute to everybody that showed up. Like I said, make sure you please hit that like button before you leave. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. I appreciate everybody that showed love, that came out. We still going to wait to see when Donald Trump going to announce his vice president. Like I said, then again, it might come next month. Could come in the next coming weeks. We don't know yet, but you know, as soon as I get word, I will let everybody know. So you will not have to worry about that. I will break the news as soon as Donald Trump says something. But like I said before, this right here was great. I enjoyed it. I know y'all enjoyed it. Like I said before, we're going to go ahead and get up out of here, get y'all some more videos. If you haven't checked out my latest video that I just dropped earlier before the live stream, make sure you go check that out. Salute to Mia, you know, for monitoring the chat. I appreciate it. Appreciate all the members. Appreciate everybody that showed up. I really, really do. And like I said, we're going to go ahead and get up out of here, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.